デンジ、お前も好きだったろ。
何のつもりだ。
How dare you!
Oh! I was waiting for Phil's. She's got a great ass.
You froze at the perfect moment. That's funny.
Unfortunately, don't have any clever. I think that "How dare you" is the only fun clip I have. I'm very lame, very unstreamerly of me. How dare you? Yeah, I need more clips so I can be a proper streamer and do fancy, funny.
Get the Hawk to a girl clip on there.
That's hot right now.
Well, it's so not hot that it's hot again.
Well, it's hot again because she's got her own podcast.
Yeah, everyone loved it, then everyone hated it.
Yeah.
And now so many people hate it that it's cool to love it again.
I'm very confused, but
yeah, people are going on.
All right then. Well, I'm glad people like her podcast and then didn't like it, but now they do again. That's great. That's great. I'm glad she's finding success. I don't know anything about her, but hello, hi, hello chat, hello Jolly Green is here. Jolly Green. What the heck? Might have been confused because I switched the intros. Well, I started playing my intro by default, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is Creative Block.
It looked like you remembered what show it was halfway through.
I did. It looked like that because that's what happened. That's very transparent there. Thank you for the links, Maromi. And yes, Carnal the Barbarian 1 just launched. That is Jake's book. It is finally here. It has launched on Indiegogo. The link is in the description. Everyone, go check it out right now. It just launched on Bancroft a couple hours ago. And yeah, it's already past 2,000, which is 4 times its funding goal. So if you have not seen this campaign yet, definitely go check it out. I have a cover for it that was just revealed today, and you should definitely get mine because apparently Jake wants to make this a competition and wants to see who sells more covers. So he has the main cover, but I have mine that has the Saving Dee Dee cover. Mine's the Saving Dee Dee cover. So everyone go take a look and back mine. But more importantly, just get the book. It's a good book.
Yeah, it's totally a competition, guys. Having Irene wipe the floor with me definitely only benefits Irene. It doesn't benefit me in any way.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Oh, that's how you get it. You're the one who's like, look, my cover is selling more than you. Oh no, yours only took more all day. Okay. Well, anyways, it is definitely competition, but either way, Jake gets the money.
Window in which to be the...
You froze.
Check.
Yeah, I had a small... Really... I know. I had a small window where I got to be in the lead, and now it's like, what, 6-11? So yeah, let's see how badly you guys can get Irene to beat me.
Don't you have 2 covers technically, though?
Oh, so should we make it cumulative, Phil?
It's cumulative, huh?
Yeah.
Henry Bemis is here. What up, folks? Congrats on the launch, Jake. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see. Carnal launch. Yeah, Bancroft, have you heard? Carnal launch.
Didn't you know about it?
I don't know if you heard about that, Bancroft. And I know you're usually out of the loop, and you have no reason to know this of this news. But yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let me adjust my camera. Ah, fuck it. Jolly's full of vitamins. Vitamins? You know what? Completely off topic, but vitamins really work because what I've been doing for... so I get colon crud all the goddamn time, okay? So for years, I was like a 50-50 gamble when I went to a convention if I got sick. And the last 2 conventions I've been at, I have been chugging... I have like a regimen of vitamins every day. Like vitamin C and D and zinc and folic acid, and I just like basically overdose on it every day. Didn't get sick. Even at New York Comic Con. It's great.
Good.
Eat your vitamins anyway. This has been my PSA for today. All right.
I remember last time you were out for like 2 weeks after Heroes.
It was 2 weeks, and it's always like some monster death cold afterwards. It's fucking horrible. So I'm gonna.
I mean,
not do
you know
that
what you can
anymore.
do instead of vitamins is you can squeeze an orange on a fish and eat the fish raw, and that will give you similar vitamins that you need.
Okay, I'll do that. That sounds way more hardcore. So that sounds like more my speed. So
Scales
I'm
and
gonna do
all.
that.
There's a lot of zinc
Scales
in
and
the
all.
scales.
Scales is the most important part. Yeah.
Yeah, including all the stinky guts and gross stuff. You need to eat it Liver King style.
Yeah,
No,
I guess
not like that.
they have doorknobs in Taiwan because I just grew up licking doorknobs and now I just don't get sick.
No, we live in straw huts with no doors.
The paper.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's only we have like not even sliding paper doors. We just have curtains, and we don't even know what tiles are. We just have dirt floors.
It might be
So,
too late
no,
to start
we don't have
licking
doorknobs.
doorknobs now. I wouldn't
I-
suggest it.
I should have eaten more dirt as a kid. That's what I should have
Yeah.
done. Yeah, little did I know. That real competition is beating Alex the first. Well, that's never gonna happen because he got first again.
Did he?
Alex VRB. Yes!
Oh my
He is-
goodness.
Amazingly good at. It's just he has a superpower. Hello, Jaro.
Alex
got
is the
the-
Nancy
he got the
Pelosi
10-pack.
of the indie crowdfunding scene. He's all about that insider trading.
Yeah.
I don't know like what his magic power is. He explained it once and I still didn't get it. He's like, I have multiple tabs open and it's like it's all set to some kind of. I just constantly refresh them and I'm like, how? What? He has like the
His-
link ready or what the fuck ever.
His secret sauce is, hey, do you want me to send me the link early?
Yeah.
Is that what he asked you?
Did he ask you that? Jason's
That's
gonna
cheating.
keep freezing today.
No,
much
not at all.
cheating.
Not at all.
Hey, it's okay. As long as it benefits us, I'm okay with it. That's totally fine. I was second, says Snarky. Well, good. Well done. That's pretty good when you're up against Alex VRB. Michael Bancroft for 2 Aussies. Thank you. Aussie dollary dues. Much appreciated. Revel yourself. Hexbox. I don't know what that means.
Revel?
So you
Oh.
Summon a demon? What's
He's-
that?
Reveal. Let's watch Phil's body language right now. Let's see facial expression. With any nervous
I don't know what you're
tics.
talking about. But I do remember.
The rumors.
No.
Cool. He's playing it.
You guys don't know.
Poker face.
Go hit up Jason. There used to be this kid. Gnarl, do you remember Jason Starr from back in the day? He was a small channel promoter.
No.
No, and he turned out to be someone disguised as a female named Hexbox, and that's the only thing I know Hexbox from. So you have to ask
Uh-huh.
Jason Starr.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he just was from the
Sure.
shadows. Sure,
Oh,
Phil.
dears.
This made-up
Cool.
person no one's ever heard about and can't recall.
No,
He's like, you guys remember Hexbox, right? I mean,
everybody remember. I can give you a bunch
You
of
just
people
made
that
that
remember.
up on the
Because
fly.
you guys haven't been around
Your
as long, I
internet
guess.
Yeah, no one remembers your made-up patsy, Phil. Phil, favorite games console? Go.
Game console, Sega
Oh.
Genesis.
Hurry, go. You missed
He
your
didn't
chance.
say it. He didn't say Xbox. He.
Womp
Yeah,
de
see,
womp.
he's someone that has been around as long as Hexbox has would probably know everything there is to know about creator-owned comics.
So as long as Hexbox has.
Has been around, yeah.
Okay. Just someone, not actually Hexbox. Just someone who's been around as long as.
He froze again. You just
Oh.
man.
Jake, your
Your
freezing is like,
connection.
it's not an internet thing. It's your actual physical condition. You're like having seizures.
He actually is just like freezing up and suddenly not talking.
So exhausted. No, sometimes I'll start sentences. Just stop. I'll stop talking.
You started talking and immediately froze. That was fucking perfect. Hey, you guys want to check this out? Look at this. Look at what.
Oh, Jake
what
got
I
you
have
on the
in-
train. Look at that.
Look,
Oh.
look.
Because I was also I got like 3-4 hours of sleep because I was coloring that cover. I was totally like, I'm gonna bring my tablet to New York Comic Con and I'm gonna work while I'm at like one of the biggest Comic-Cons, and also plan on socializing and going to events every night and hanging out with. Yeah, I'm gonna get work done. It didn't happen, so I had to rush and get the cover colored after I got back. So this is my new friend. I'm a convert. You know, I've tried Monster before. The stream is now a Monster ad, and I hated it in college. So that's why I just drank coffee, and I drank so much coffee I became a coffee addict. But this is good. This is like some mango flavor. This is my new best friend.
Coming
Great.
Coming next week is Irene with gout.
Yeah, Irene's gonna get gout.
Shit! I see your plan. You're trying to make me suffer along with you. God damn it!
You
I'm
guys
trying to
make
form a
gout
secret
friends.
society of gout sufferers. Yeah, I need to get you guys hooked too. All we have to do is find your favorite flavor. You find your favorite flavor, you'll be hooked. Look, was a tall mango.
This is really good.
F.
Though. This is really good.
FYFF.
I have both coffee and gout juice right
She's
here.
gonna be dead by the end of the stream, guys. She's not gonna make it.
Gee.
I thought I had another monster around here.
Well, better figure that out.
He's never coming back.
Yeah, what was I talking about? He's never coming back. He's just gonna collapse on the floor. Yeah, what was I talking about? What was I talking about, guys? Let's see.
There it is.
Did you meet the
New York
Monster
Comic-Con.
Energy people at New York Comic-Con? That's why they gave you a bunch of free Monster.
Yeah, they're gonna start publishing
no.
our comics on cans, page by page.
That would actually be great. That'll probably get us some banger promotion. Yeah, let's go around and talk about our weeks. So I don't well, at least I don't know about but I've decided I'd like to do some more free-flowing shows. So I have a couple questions ready for everyone, but we're just gonna have like a more natural chit-chat style show. We're gonna talk about starting stories, which will tie in nicely with Jake's #1 launch. Book 1 launch, but so we'll get into that eventually. Which, by the way, a little belated, but yes, this is the creative blog where we talk about storytelling and comics. Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Welcome. Please like and subscribe.
Welcome.
But before we get into all that, let's talk about our weeks, which will include New York Comic Con. But since that'll take forever, let's have Phil and Narwhal go first. Tell us how your weeks.
You go first,
What
Phil.
happened?
I gotta go first. Okay. I finished reading the big hardcover of Trigon Maximum. It's the second volume that Dark Horse has put out. It's in my front room though, on the shelf. So that was cool. Next book comes out next month, so I'm excited for that. And then I did a bunch of lettering this week and writing for my Western book that we're going to be dropping next year. Super excited about that. Having a lot of fun going back and forth with the artist, and it's just awesome collabing with people. It's just so fun when you're working with someone that is as invested in the story as you are, which is super cool. Yes, Student of God. And see, we're doing a Western.
Not all artists even read the whole script. A lot of artists are like, I'll just go do it page by page. And I'm like, if you read the whole thing, it will help you a lot for what you
yeah, exactly.
Don't
Oh
say.
man, I've worked with artists like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
know
it's
you're
okay,
insane.
whatever, but yeah. it's true.
But no, yeah, I'm like I'm working with Oliver Isabedra, who's a phenomenal artist, and I'm like sending him videos on things to watch and be like, oh, we can do something like this here, and he suggested a total page to add to one of the stories, and I'm like, yeah, that totally works, like something creepy.
You need to jump into that gap that's been created by Ghosts of the Badlands. You're like, I'll just slink in here. Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah. If you guys scour my Twitter or Oliver's, he's posted some preview shots of stuff to come. But also lettering Psycho Slumber, and we're coming up on the 60 days of that next week, which is crazy. So also next week, guys, next Thursday is Halloween. So it's going to be a Halloween creative block.
Oh, shibs.
Damn.
So we have
nice.
to dress up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we'll see Soy Zoro. No.
Oh, shibs. Maybe I should be Soy Zoro.
Yeah, that's something. What else should I do? I'm also working. almost done with a trailer for another comic creator who's launching their book soon. So I had like 5 days to do this. He's like, can you turn it around really quick? I'm like, yeah. So I've been working on that the past few days. And yeah, that's it. I thought I was hosting this week, but then I'm not. So,
We all know,
No,
Phil, it
I
only
stole
takes
your
a
thunder.
few hours the night before your launch to make a trailer. None of this days in advance. You just do it the night before.
What
You
is-
try your best. You throw some images around.
yeah.
All this planning and actual being productive ahead of time. John's Longbox is here. What's up?
Yo, John.
Hello.
Good to see you,
John
John.
Longbox was also in New York, but we did not meet up, and I'm very sad. But hopefully, I mean, I will be going to New York again, so maybe next time. But yeah, hope you had a good show. Or
Yeah.
no, you didn't go into the show, but yes.
Yeah,
We'll see you
and the
next
other
time.
thing is had a bunch of FOMO, seeing you guys have an awesome time in New York Comic Con.
It
So
was great. Who had
was
FOMO?
amazing.
FOMO?
FOMO,
You?
FOMO.
Homo.
FOMO Phil, they call me.
Yes, FOMO, everybody. Which one of you has that?
Hashtag no FOMO.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it
and-
was a good show, but I will hold off on gushing about it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
how was
Yeah, I
your
want to
week,
hear
dear?
too. And I also had FOMO.
Well,
I had hetero FOMO. I don't know. But,
Oh dear. Well, we're
God.
very accepting
Sorry,
here,
Phil.
Narwhal. It's okay.
It's okay.
And yeah, what? So I didn't do shit either. I'm kind of in a little mini break, which is nice. So I took a few days off and I did some writing, but then I got some art in from Monica on Cerberus 2, and it's almost done. There's like maybe 15 pages to do, and then that whole book will be done drawn.
Hell yeah.
And the pages that are coming in are basically the absolute climax of the story. And so it's been a lot of fun getting those pages. And I told Monica too, there was one, I was like, this is, it was in the script. It says like, this could possibly be the best panel in the book. And so I was like, I wonder what Monica will do with that. And the first sketch wasn't quite there, but I gave some notes and then she did another sketch. But my note, I said, think of it as a slow motion shot too, if it was a movie. And all of a sudden she drew the most amazing thing that just blew me away. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
It almost is like that whole book. I feel like it justifies its existence just because of this one panel.
Yeah.
oh wow.
I know what you mean, dude. Yeah, sometimes it's like that.
Yeah.
We gotta guess
so-
what the panel is. We gotta guess what the panel is. Like, is it a show the animals escape from the zoo or something like that?
It's kind of just an action panel, but a really good one, I guess.
Well, it's 3 dogs getting shot by machine guns, is what it was.
Maybe.
Ah,
No. And then working with Jared, still 2 hotel stories coming along, and it's great as well. So those 2 projects, and then I'm launching Nosferatu next week. I could kind of launch it whenever. It'll be like not super. What do you call it? It's not gonna be a super big deal, but I just want to get it out there and let people know it's another cover. Kind of just timing it with the movie that's coming out this December.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on Kickstarter. I'll be testing out Kickstarter,
Nice.
and that's it. Yeah. So.
Awesome.
What's it like to be working on the part 2s of both of those? And it like, has your approach changed after the one? Like you forged working relationships with those 2 people, got a book out, and now you're continuing it with a change.
Oh God! It froze right as you were about to ask your question.
No,
what
you
did
were
you say?
changing.
Now you're back. What did you
something.
say it one more time?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, you did part 1s with these 2 people where you like forged creative relationships with them. Like, has it changed in the second books? You're doing both seconds at the same time now.
Yeah. Nothing's changed really. Yeah, we find the stride at some point. Like even with Monica, it was maybe like page 20 to 30. It wasn't like right away. But then it was like money, and from then on it's been great, which is a lot of fun. I'm glad we stuck through it. That beginning, not that it was rough, but it just wasn't like perfect, but then it was after that. And then with Jared, yeah, kind of similar. It's like we got our way that we're doing it and it's working. But then, yeah, when these are done, it's fun because it's part 2. So they finished the story. So then it will be like next year. I'll have like Earthbound is a totally finished 300-page story, and then Cerberus, same thing, will be 300 or like 250 or whatever, and
Yeah.
and Hotel Story. So the number of like big, like graphic novels that I've done is gonna that are fully complete will be going up quite a bit.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
that's awesome.
One
That's
more,
quite a
one
lot
more
of
thing I
work.
did this week is I watched Sleepy Hollow for the first time. Tim Burton, Jonathan Depp film.
Oh, I was about to ask which one because there's so many Sleepy Hollows.
Yeah, and because I was on the Iron Seas show, which is its own channel. You guys can go subscribe to. Bat Sauce is in the chat. He's a regular host over there. And then we talked about Sleepy Hollow. So I enjoyed the film. It's good.
Cool. All right. Well,
What about you
well.
guys?
we went and had a good old party up in New York. I don't know why I said it
Yeah,
like
it was-
that, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's not Georgia. Great
It is
time.
Georgia.
Tell us what we
It's-
missed out on.
Well, here's the thing. Like,
I
it
know
was a
where
lot
to
of
start.
it was a lot of sitting behind the table trying to sell the book to people, right? Like, from photos, it's like, oh my god, why? I wish I was there doing all this partying stuff. We were at the convention most of the day, like a couple of hours at the end. Like, traveling was a lot of time.
Right. Well, there was. So it is. Sorry, Jake. You froze. What did you say? Traveling was a lot of time.
Doesn't matter.
No, never mind. Poor thing. Oh man, maybe try your phone. Aw.
Okay.
So yeah. Yes. Well, it's New York Comic Con, so it is expensive, but the rewards are also great. I did New York in 2019. I actually brought a preview book of Fiendish to that show, and I've been on this journey of refining my convention layout because it's hard to explain. Like, I'm just not a natural at having a nice looking booth, and like it basically I just throw everything I have on my table and everything is chaos. And I used to have like some Marvel stuff, some of my sketchbooks, some original art, some prints, some of my own comics, and it's chaos. And when I have a different art style for everything, it looks like, what the fuck is this, right? And I slowly learned that what you have to do is you have to kill your darlings. Old work or work that you don't want to sell right now, you just have to do away with it. So I've gotten rid of all my older work, my Marvel stuff, and my old sketchbooks. My table is like almost just Fiendish, but it could still be better. So anyways, but this show was a huge improvement. This year has just been really good for conventions. Heroes was great. The Mexico show was great, and New York Comic Con was great. We sold out of all the Fiendish books that I brought with me by like Friday. So it's a 4-day show, Thursday and Friday. And it was interesting because I think that the collectors were all coming in Thursday and Friday, and some on Saturday. Sunday was actually more chill. Usually Saturday is a big day for shows, right? I've noticed that this year, at least for New York, Thursday and Friday were really, really heavy. And I guess people were taking time off work to avoid the Saturday rush.
Yeah.
And the collectors were all coming in early to pick up their books. So I was selling a lot of books right off the bat, which was great. But that means I ran out of books. And guess what? So, RJ does my fulfillment. And I have planned for him to ship me a huge box of dozens of books. Like, probably totaled up to like 50 or 60 books. More than that. Like, it was like 70 books. And I told him like a week before. It's not his fault at all, by the way. It's completely UPS's fault. I will bitch about this because we had it scheduled to arrive on time. He made the postage, did everything right, and then it got to New York. It was like one town
It was out for
away.
delivery. It was out for delivery.
It
So you
was
got that
out for
notification in the morning.
I got
Right?
the notification that it was out for delivery, and then it just didn't show up. And then I checked the tracking, and they're like, error, like delivery error. It wasn't that nobody was there. It was their system glitched, so they just sent it back.
Well, no, when
They
I looked it up,
$70 back to Arkansas because their computer glitched. And I called them. I had RJ call them. I was like, can I drive to your facility? Can I intercept the truck for my books? And they're like, I'm sorry, no, at this time our policy is marked, the computer marked it to be 7 hours. That's what we have to do. We apologize. So my box of books that I needed for the show was not there. So what RJ did, RJ pulled through like a champ. I was like, I'm out of books. Like, I'm here to promote Fiendish. I can tell people to go to the website, but I need books. So I told him we need to find a shipping service that could overnight the books to me. I don't care how much I pay. We discovered FedEx can overnight like 45 pounds for a shit ton of money. It's like a couple $100, but I will have books. So that's what he did within, like, this was Friday during the middle of the day, Friday morning, and he was driving around trying to find a FedEx center with a ton of books in the backseat of his car, and he pulled through, immediately got all my books sent out. I had my books Saturday morning. Fucking amazing. FedEx and Critical Blast saved my ass, and then I went and sold out almost all of those. I had one Chapter 2 book left by the end of the show.
Damn.
Fucking great! It was great. I'm very, very happy, but more than just selling books, it's just great to, like, people were interested in a book, and I'm very, very happy and I'm very grateful. It was a good show. Jay, you should talk. I've been talking too much.
No, it was great. That morning when it said out for delivery, next time I checked, it said like returning to sender. Like it was saying that the address it was sending to was like RJ's, and I'm like, that's not right. It's the other way around. What the fuck?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
Yeah, and like that was dire because it was like, well, what are we gonna do? And so like I didn't go to the con. I stayed back and like started making a flyer because just in case you ran out, right? You want a flyer or like order online. So like I hurriedly put together like one of these, like
yeah.
last
The
minute.
best helper as well. Like I was at the show. He was like, I will stay at the hotel and try to get the package. And then when the package didn't show up, he like got on his tablet, made me a flyer. Was like, well, people can go order online if you don't have books. Like, woo!
Yeah, this was in case so we
I got
could
a
still
lot of help.
promote it. And they ended up being useful anyway, because like if people would come to the table and be like, maybe I'll get it later, you just give
Just
it to
hand
them.
them,
It's
yeah.
great. Yeah, it's great to have like if it gives you information about the books you have, like a summary of the story, like it worked out great.
It was.
But yeah, like
it was great. He still gave out a lot of those flyers. Yeah, it was very, very helpful.
Yeah, it
was
especially
fun.
people.
It looked
Most
packed
people-
because
It
I know you guys were in Artist Alley. I had some other friends that were exhibitors, and what I didn't realize till later is they're on 2 different floors. Like is that right? The artist alley is on a different
Okay.
floor, and then the exhibitors.
So the
different?
artist alley was down below, and it was like a huge hangar. Either side, the one next to it was for signatures, and I think the other one was like a queue area or something. Then above all of that, like the same length of all of it, was the mainstream show, right? Like
Sure.
they had all the retailer booths up there. A bunch of people had their own comics there, with their fancy tables. So yeah, it was like these, but it was cool because anyone who was milling around on the concourse, you could kind of look down the escalators, like look down the gap into the artist alley, so you could see it all. There were tons of people at Artist Alley. It was pretty rammed the whole time. There was not a single time when it was dead at all. There were always people walking past the table. It was interesting to see the best times that people would come to the table, and would be more interested. Like there was a jump in the morning, then it like dies down around midday because everyone's getting lunch. Then at like 3, you get a ton of customers back again. It was fun. It was fun learning how to pitch Fiendish. The cool thing is, because it's not your own book, you can easily big it up. you can be like, oh, this is great, you're gonna love the art. But if it's your own, you'd be like, it's all right, you might enjoy it. So yeah,
it's always good to have a partner.
It does help to have like someone.
That's the plot of
great to have
the
Jake there
Hitchcock.
be like, oh, it looks
That sorry, real quick. That's the plot of the Hitchcock movie Strangers on a Train, where two people they meet on a train, and they both need someone dead, and they're like, well, if we kill the person that we need dead, then we'll get arrested. But if we switch and kill each other's person, no one will know because there'll be no motive, so we'll get away with it. So that's their plan.
Yeah,
That's what you guys did for pitching books, though. You guys like if you switch. Pitch each other's books, then you can like play it up real big. Like
Yeah.
Right?
Honestly, but having the actual creators there is also important because people are more likely to engage, and it's just appealing when the creator is there. But yeah, what I've slowly discovered the things that people are interested in with Fiendish, which sounds retarded, but it's one of those things where, well, you're so close to your work, you don't actually know what appeals to other people. It's like, I know Fiendish is great. I love my project, but what actually appeals to people were the things that I thought would scare them at first, like, oh, you created a language for your comic. It's like a very high investment, long form fantasy with deep world building, and I thought that people would be like, oh, that's too much, like, that's so weird. No, bitch, why the fuck did you think that? People love that shit. Like, now I open with, it's like a D&D campaign in a comic, and I built my own fantasy language, and also it does help to have someone there that could, you know, basically talk about how good your book is. Have a table partner, guys. It helps.
Yeah, like refining the pitch was fun because with things we learned were short sentences and ask questions, gauge the reaction by like what their face does depending what you were saying, and like either switch to another one of the talking points in a short sentence with a question, or like when they've reacted positively, then start drilling down into the detail of that route. And you kind of do that to see what they're into. And then you know, like, okay, are they gonna want to look at the art, or know about the language, or know about like science-based magic system, or that it feels like a D&D campaign as you read it, and like you find a bunch of things you can target based on the reaction. It went really well. People were buying whole sets of the books too, not just the first one.
Yeah,
they were getting the bundles.
That's awesome.
Nice. In high school, what Jake, the service he's helping Rainey with, we called that the listen to this guy. That's like if you're talking to a mob and you're like, brothers, we must march on the Capitol. And you have one guy who's like, listen to this guy.
Yeah, that's exactly the effect. But yeah, it was great. And I'm very grateful. It was a good show. Oh, one last thing. I'm sure we'll circle back to talk about New York Comic Con some more. But the shout out to the Global Comics people. We hung out with them and had some great conversations, and I am very excited to be on their platform. It felt like I don't really know like how to summarize everything other than it's really great to have people innovating how to read comics, and I'm really excited about verticals. I'm excited about having Fiendish on the platform. I think they're going to grow and drive more views to their platform because they have this site that is like Webtoons but kind of better. It has more versatility, the art looks better, it's more high resolution, and I've just been very happy with all our conversations about how to promote comics and how to grow and all that stuff. So yeah, it was great. They had like a mixer and everything, and it was nice just talking to people about how to get eyes on books, because that's always a really hard thing for indies, and people actually care about that. Caring about that is lovely. It's really nice.
Yeah, like the speeches they did, like everything it seemed from Global Comics at the show seemed so optimistic. I wish my book was done so I could put it up on there now. Like, Phil, you're putting up books all the time on there. I always see it popping up. Like, I really want to get stuff on there because it genuinely feels like one of the platforms where in a few years' time people will look back and be like, oh, if only I'd got in on that early. It's one of those situations. You'd have the chance to get in on Global Comics early now.
It seems from what I've heard from you guys, it sounds awesome. Like they, like probably a month ago, I would say I got an email from Global Comics and they said, hey, if anybody is in the area, we want volunteers for our booth. We'll give you a pass into New York Comic Con. Come hang out and work the booth. All you have to do is get there. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, I wasn't able to get out there, but they seem like super accommodating and like they're actually trying to create something that's going to be lasting, which is awesome.
I forget where I saw it, but I saw them have an advertisement somewhere. And I was like, ooh, Global Comics advertising like big time a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was YouTube or Twitter. It might have just been Twitter, but
great.
it had it had a big old thing. It had an ad. I'm like, they're reaching a lot of people. So
Interesting. Yeah, thank you for the links, Alex VRB. Phoenix Chapter 1, 2, and 2.5 are all on Global Comics, and also Phil's books are on there. I've recommended anyone who's making a comic, put it on there. There's just all kinds of cool functionalities. There's different modes for reading. You can read it like a comic, like a PDF. You can read it panel to panel, like on a phone, like you're on a phone. Optimized for phone reading. You can link your crowdfunding campaign. You can sell a PDF. You can link your website. Tons and tons of stuff on creator tools. So
in fact,
it's fun.
Yeah, I've seen people who have Kickstarters and they're putting their first pages of the book that they've got done up at the same time as campaigning. I'm getting the first couple of scenes drawn and I'm putting them up on Global Comics whilst the campaign's going, so people get to read it there.
Yeah,
it seems like a
Yeah.
great idea to use it that way.
I think on next week on Halloween, we're going to put Magic Up 2 up there. I already have it ready to go up, so I'm just going to schedule it. So most everything we have is going to be up there. It's going to be cool.
Brilliant. Yes.
All right.
Bancroft says his books will be on there. Yeah, we should
Yes.
get it up.
They
I
would
think as
like
soon as they
Lucent.
see it, they're going to love it. I think the Lucent's one of those books that'll stand out to them when it goes up.
Yeah, having talked to the team there, and especially their digital content guy who's doing the verticals, like they read the comics there. They pay attention to indie books. It's not just all large publisher books. They do have DC and a bunch of other like a huge do they have not all of DC, but they do have a bunch of DC stuff on there. DC just got onboarded there.
DC Dark Horse, Image, we had a bunch of Image stuff too.
A bunch of Image stuff, but I think Invincible is on there. But they pay attention to the indies too, so do it. And I like what you said, Jake, that you're going to be putting pages up and bits of the story as you work on it. And speaking of that,
Yes. Okay.
here's the comic that you will be able to read on Global Comics soon.
Jake was brainstorming the pun because you wanted to rename the title, right? Because it's like what you called the making of book also. Do you want to explain that? But then anyway, it looks like you ended up going with first entry. I think that's hilarious. That's funny. That's funnier than even what was getting brainstormed in the back room.
I think I might use the thing we brainstormed. Basically, I did the Sketchy Starts preview book, which is meant to be like the layouts for everything, like the whole series. And someone was confused and thought that it was like a reprint with a new cover of that book. And I was like, shit, oh no, should I rename it? I was like, what? I can rename it to Bareback Beginnings. Instead of Sketchy Starts, it would have still worked, but no. Actually, Irene, she came up with the name Raw Entry for the first one.
Why did you? Okay. Well, I did.
Didn't you? What'd you think of the name I came up with, Jake?
It was a little bit drawn out, Phil. I'll have to try and go back to the actual window now and read it.
You didn't like pre-jaculative preliminary?
Okay.
You know what? Raw reminds me of like if it was the black and white version or like the version cover, like Carnal.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the raw edition or the bareback edition could be when it goes just black and white, just
Black
the
and
line
white
art.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, I totally didn't suggest that at all. Hey,
least, yeah,
look, I
shame.
was just being helpful. I was just being helpful.
It was great, and me of all people tamed it down to first entry. So
For once, I actually pushed the boundary further than Jake, and he's like, "Whoa, there."
yeah,
Pull it back
steady
a little
on.
bit.
Not that far. We launched today on. Thank you very much, Michael Bancroft, for hosting the launch. It was very fun. He was actually in here earlier saying he was back at 31. He's trying to get my numbers up. Like, what are we? What am I on now? Do I have any chance?
Yeah, I did. I
Well-
grabbed your cover too, Jake. There.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
The rich
And
get richer.
Phil said backer 32. Thank you,
Right.
Phil. Thanks a
Thanks
lot.
Well, we're currently on 8 of my cover and 11 of yours, so you're still kicking my ass.
Come on,
But I'm
guys.
not-
We gotta
Okay.
get Jake's
Let
I
cover
three
up.
insist on
brave
kicking
souls
Jake's
stand
ass.
up tonight. Can we do it,
To back
brothers?
my cover and
No.
thoroughly kick Jake's ass. Thoroughly
Jake's
kick
cover.
Jake's ass. A featured tear-throbbing package. We'll definitely go through this campaign in detail, but I want to just show. Look at all this look at these beautiful colors. Look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I
You're
was
gonna have a whole book
coloring-
like this.
My New York Comic Con experience was actually sitting with a tablet at the table coloring this the entire time I got this fucking page. I went through so many. I was struggling as well. I went through so many different palettes. There was one where it was like glowing red. It was hard to figure out what to do. Ended up with like General Zombie Graveyard.
No, I like it.
Green.
That's not
I
what
feel
I was
like
expecting, but
Fits the scene well.
Yeah.
Like, it has a cool atmosphere too. It's like otherworldly and evil and slimy.
The process of coloring for me is I'll start off and then it'll end up looking like a nightclub. Every single time. Every fucking time I color a new scene, it ends up looking like a nightclub, and then I have to pull it back, make everything like 50% saturated, and then it ends up looking good, so...
that works for comics though, honestly. So, yeah, I was surprised that this wasn't like neon colored because that's usually what I expect with Jake's coloring. Oh, this is definitely neon colored though, right here.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate
tastefully.
the censorship.
It
Tastefully
works.
blurred out.
The nightclub look works on these pages because it's like an underground crystal cave. But yes, that is a tastefully pixelated scene. Definitely not pixelated because it wasn't colored in time.
Definitely.
That's not a reason to pixelate.
Definitely
a page.
not. It actually was. That is not actually the only reason. If you didn't blur this out, Indiegogo might have a problem with your campaign. It's pretty graphic.
Yep,
So
and
well done.
but it's graphic on the page. But apparently, I'm okay with making an entire standee diorama set of the middle panel and then putting that up
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah, you
fine.
didn't want to show the page, but the standee is so cool, guys.
I did.
Oh my gosh, but yeah.
I grabbed the enamel pin. I'm super excited about that.
The pin
Excellent.
is so cute. That's
Yes,
actually a super
thanks,
cute
Phil.
pin.
Yeah, I've wanted to cram like a whole character on a pin, I thought it would be difficult, and I actually think I might have even gone simpler than I needed to, with the design. But yeah, it's got the little seed shaman on there who's
Yeah,
like
it's 2 characters.
gonna be glowing in the dark. So here's something we didn't mention. I forgot to mention this on Bancrafts. Every item that isn't a shirt comes with an accompanying trading card. Like if you click on the perks, by the way, and look at the content of one of them, like the enamel pin for one. So it comes with two. The pin comes with 2 trading cards. It comes with the Seedling Queen one, and it comes with the Seed Shaman one. And there's gonna be a whole set of 8 or 9. And yeah, so every item you get will have one of the set, but if you get the throbbing package, you just get the whole set,
That's
including
Super
Go on.
smart.
I forgot. We even forgot to mention it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that is I was a little I don't think I've seen anyone do that before, but because trading cards are usually stretch goals,
Yeah.
but now that I've thought about giving it some more thought and seeing it on the campaign, I think that's a really cool idea that it's still a collectible free item and it adds value to every perk, And also, if you get even if you get an add-on, correct me if I'm wrong. If you get it and this item as an add-on, you still get that trading card, right?
I haven't actually structured it like that. The add-ons are like individual items. It's like if you get that perk, it sounds like it should work like that.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is not. I guess this
No,
hasn't
no,
been
no,
worked
no.
out yet.
That makes a lot of sense. I hadn't even thought about that. I just structured the perks. I'll think about it and I might end up updating it. But yeah, anyone who got the throbbing package, you're getting all of the cards, including the portrait card, because there's an exclusive cover in the bundle, which also comes with its own card. But that isn't part of the 9. That is part of a separate 9, which are the portrait set. So if you get the throbbing package, you get one of the portrait collection. But yeah, it's very
Yeah, and
very
speaking of
nerdy way
portrait
of doing
collection,
it.
hold on, those are the covers. Look at those amazing covers. And here's the portrait cover. Look at that big
Yeah.
mug next to a mug. Look at that mug.
What is the sound
Hell
he's making
yeah.
in this picture?
He got so drunk he forgot how to talk, or he just switched languages to alcohol knees or something.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
But yeah,
Portrait.
Phil, you know the Simpsons DVD box sets where it's the heads?
Yeah.
It's just ripping off that.
Yeah,
I just want to do
it's
my own
good.
version of that. So yeah, as the books go forward, like they'll all end up having each campaign will have a portrait cover. So those really dedicated people who even at this early stage are getting the throbbing packages. I'm just trying to give you as much proper collectory stuff as possible. Like, you could end up with the whole series as all of the portraits, and it's like owning those Simpsons DVD box sets with the freaking clamshells. It's like the closest I could do to that.
Very nice. And there's a standee. There's a standee it's a diorama standee with gore, and there's an eyeball that's
brains?
a freestanding
Or intestine?
eyeball. Look at that little eyeball and brain. That's awesome.
It's a very clean brain. It's a very clean
Very
Simpsons-y
clean.
Futurama brain that for some reason there's no blood all over it, and still has some spine attached.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
very clean spine that just got ripped out of a character. Jolly as what age group is this book for K to 12? No, do not give this book to anyone from K to, well, I guess 12 is fine. Well, like 12th grade, but yeah, this is mature. There, I guess technically is PG-13, but I would have exercise discretion.
Yeah, I decided to not ruin myself financially and actually make a book that can be sold in a comic shop eventually.
Yeah, it technically there is nothing showing. It's just rather gory. But yeah, here is that's the collector's box only cover, the portrait cover. There's Jake's, the main cover. And there's mine that everybody should go back right now, and I can share it. Pardon the shameless
share that.
self-promotion.
This came together like right at the end. It has been a hectic like couple of weeks, or even just a couple of days. I am so freaking exhausted from doing this work, and you've just been puttering away on these colors for ages. Look at that! Look at it! It looks so good.
There we go. All right,
You bought the wrong
there's
cover,
my.
Jake.
What?
I think I bought the wrong cover.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Well, don't refund it, but also get my cover. There you go. This is. I think this is the first Wraparound cover I've ever done, and it was so much fun, and it took so long. This is probably. I think, of course, like with a whole comic page and multiple panels, there's a lot of detail that you have to put in, right? But with like all the detail and the cave walls and like all the characters, and then I also colored it, so I did everything here. Jake did lay out the colors because I'm really bad at that, but then I painted them up. So, anyways, this took forever, and it's the first Wraparound I've ever done. So, yay! I'm pretty proud of it.
Freaking awesome. Yeah, those colors came out great.
My one of my favorite parts is the rim lining on the very top right of the block champion's head and ear, which is a bit like there's the subtle bits. Like, look at the subtle lighting. It really feels like there's light coming from the moon.
I love his eye. The eye
Blood,
glow,
blood.
illuminating eyes is great.
Yeah, like how it goes down the nose.
Yeah.
In a beam.
I'm glad it turned out well. I'm very proud of the seedlings. I love
Yeah,
drawing
they're
the
so cool.
seedlings. Yeah, but yeah, this was tons of fun. There you go, and there's Dee Dee. And this was traditional too.
Do you have it? Do you want to show it?
I
Snotpicon says he got your cover. Take that, me. Yeah. Oh, you got me. Oh, you got me.
Hey, I got to channel my inner Plague sometimes, okay? I do so more and more, especially when drawing boobs. I am learning the ways of the Plague. So there.
That's twist. Oh yeah, anyone who gets the package also gets like a sketch card, but now you actually get to choose the character. So if you want either of these, that's Twist with the tusk between her boobs.
Nice.
That's Truffle is down below, looking kind of, a bit forward, a bit desperate. And then that's Elignar is on the right, who looks like she's very much enjoying herself, and obviously stuffed away in the hand that has Dee Dee, because this is the Dee Dee saved cover. Where anyone who there was some controversy on the show when everyone was picking their favorite broodmother, and most people picked Dee Dee. And then it was revealed that maybe she doesn't survive for very long in the story. So now you get
Daisy.
Poor Dee Dee.
Now you get an alternate universe that you can tell is a mirror universe, because Truffle's beauty mark is on the wrong side of her head, and so is
Oops.
definitely
So
not
this is
because
what
it was
happens.
penciled in reverse with the canvas
It was
flipped.
definitely not because that, and definitely not because absolutely neither myself or the creator caught that, and this was drawn traditionally, so now I can't change it. But it's fine because it's an alternate universe.
And even
Thank you,
so,
Dirty Fatty. Hey.
I'll mention this on this channel because your audience knows that you famously have a patchy history with spot gloss. Is this correct?
Wow.
Right.
It is indeed. I mean, I had one bad experience, and I decided to pussy out on doing more spot gloss. That's basically what happened.
Guys, I want to finally bring you an Irene cover that actually has spot gloss.
Oh my.
Oh my!
Right?
What
Just
is this?
imagine if we manage to get there, like if the campaign does well, can you imagine all of the saliva with spot gloss on this
That'd be
cover?
awesome. Yes.
Will that be a stretch goal?
Yeah,
This is out of my
yeah.
control, everybody. But that would be awesome.
Saliva
That would be
and his eyes would be cool.
Yeah, like the ring in his nose, like some of the earrings, maybe everyone's eye, like the things that would typically be shiny. It would look great
That would
if
be
we
cool.
if we manage to get there.
Yep, I would be very honored. Real quick, not to delve too much on my cover because it feels a little indulgent. Everybody should definitely back it. Here's the original.
That's so dope.
Here you go. Hey.
You can see all the extra stuff that doesn't get trimmed off.
Yeah, there's a lot. I drew like way extra, so that's how there's a all over print shirt of this piece as well as Jake's cover.
Oh man!
And because both of our covers are wraparounds, and those are very conducive to making all over print shirts. So here's one of the good things about doing wraparound covers for your campaigns. Good for merch, very good for merch. Yeah, this is the original piece. You can see in the bag it's taped together. It's
nice.
So are you available? Are you available for other people to maybe be interested in getting wraparound covers, possibly?
Yes, I am. Hire me. I want work, please. Hire me now. Thank you very much. The end. Give me money. Oh wait, no, not that. I want.
You got to put commissions open in your Twitter handle.
Oh yeah, I should definitely do that. Jake, did you want to show off your cover real quick before we
Oh, sure.
forward?
Oh, God. I'm not going to pull this up. No.
Henry Bemis says spit gloss.
Spit glass. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Let me catch a couple of super chats that I did not forget. Well, I missed that first, but now I have been reminded. Fusebox for $2. Thank you very much. Hola, lady and gents. Guess what's still in demand? I am guessing that is Outlaw Nights. That is
Outlaw
still
Nights.
in demand. Outlaw Nights. And Fusebox always pops into super chat and shout out his books. Everyone go check out Outlaw Nights on Indiegogo. Still in demand. Thank you very much.
Fusebox, aka Hexbox, revealed.
The evil twin.
Ooh.
I think we found Hexbox.
But
Ooh.
I gotta go melt some cheese real fast. I'll be right back.
Cool. All right, do that. What? Whatever.
That's what they call showering up in the Northwest.
Right. Yeah. In cheese. Bancroft for Aussie 5. Thank you. What kind of monster would ignore my backer number? 31. By the way, I did not ignore it. I was just delayed because I tend to do that. Thinking of refunding your cover, Jake, and backing Reenie's instead. Well, don't refund Jake's cover, but also back mine. Thank you very much for the super chat. And thank you for backing the book. Backer 31. There we go. Got it. Barb has been gifting memberships. Thank you. Barb has gifted one membership like 3 times. And I saw in the chat that she actually ended up gifting herself a membership.
Can you do that? Wait, you can do that?
No, it's random. It's random. I think it's
That's
random.
crazy.
So she randomly gifted herself a membership?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was possible.
Wow.
But
Barb
thank you very much for the membership gifts, Barb. I hope that made someone happy. There you go. There's Jake's cover. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, kind of a little less effort going into the colors here. Some nice large areas of flat color up in the sky. Some nice flat color with no rendering. You know, a tiny bit of shadow. Not the painstaking, like, everything.
Okay,
is
sometimes
chiseled.
things.
You're right,
sometimes you
Jake.
don't need that
This
much
cover
effort.
is better. You're right.
What?
Look at
Hey,
this.
someone is getting kicked from this show right now. No, it is a good cover. I think your style fits that more like cell shading animation style coloring, and it's about the color combinations, right, and the gradients. It's turned out great.
Yeah, the amount of effort I'm willing to put into a cover also matches cell shading style coloring.
I mean, it looks like a video game to me. Like it's like box art for a game. You know,
You know what?
I think it all
What's
matches
funny?
together. So
The way the lighting looks, Phil, like with this weird rim light that kind of like feels like it's glowing from the. It's basically the exact same shader from Hollow Fist. So it literally does look like the game.
yeah.
It's yeah, but yes, it took a. My favorite part is that. Well, no, I didn't mean to zoom in that far.
Your favorite part is
Wow.
obviously that.
No, I like that this
We
this is
never
one of
guessed.
this is one of the reject brew mothers known as Puff Puff. I just like that she's has began eating one of the seedlings.
I love that. Oh, the poor seedlings.
Oh, that's
The
horrible.
seedlings are so brutalized.
Did you not realize what was happening? Look at
realized
its
that.
dead.
Oh, she's so happy.
The
She-
green blood.
I
As
really
long
like
as she's
the,
eating, she's happy.
I like the executioner guy at the bottom.
That's Grognar.
He's pretty cool.
He definitely comes in and starts playing a part, more so in the second one. And yeah, this whole, in fact, you know, at the show, we had people coming up to us saying that you should do a spin-off series of the blocks. And like, here's the thing. The main series is that spin-off series. They stick around for a long time.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of block stuff in the whole series, and yeah, all of these characters, they kind of start off in this story where they're invading the Humanistan, the human kingdom.
Yeah.
But you know, they keep re-emerging, and you kind of see them as they develop, as maybe some of them get their arms ripped off and have to deal with losing various limbs in the future. Maybe get promotions, maybe get demotions. But yeah, there's across this series, it'll tell the story of the books, not just Connell.
Cool. There's so much happening.
Yeah, it's so
Mark
cool.
Reed, Jake is not drunk. He's just really, really, really tired.
Is it me or no? Does he mean Connell or does he just? I'm very tired.
He's so drunk but amazing. I'm not sure which one it is. Cardinal's
Yeah.
drunk. Jake is not. But no. Yeah, you did fine. Yeah,
He just wants to
there's
get
so much
drunk and
detail
have a
on
good
this.
time.
He does. Ooh, the trailer's awesome, but we'll play it later. We'll definitely circle back around to the campaign and go through it, talk about the perks, because we want to promote the heck out of this. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. Let's see whose cover will win out in the end, mine or Jake's. We've got 2 wraparound covers, neck and neck. So go back, back once, back twice, back 3
Oh,
times a lady.
Cam said he backed. Hail Cam.
Yes.
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
I
Yes.
haven't seen Cam in a while. Good to see you, man.
Hell
you
yeah!
very much,
Thank you,
Cam.
my friend. Much
Yeah,
appreciated.
we're up to 28 thanks to Cam. If anyone does back, put your back a number in the chat and we'll shout it out. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Cam. I
yeah.
also appreciate anyone who retweets any of the Connor related stuff on Twitter because it's hard to get things out there sometimes, and especially you, Phil. You're there retweeting straight away. It's great. You're always retweeting.
Yeah, I
appreciate it.
always.
What a good friend.
I don't have like anything set to notifications. Maybe that means I'm on Twitter too much, and I just
Maybe.
see every time.
That might be it. Bancroft, your backer number is 31. We have read it. We will
Yes.
forever
Yes,
remember
yes,
it. We'll frame it. Thank you very much for backing.
Your super
one
chat
super
was
chat-
a wise investment.
Yes, yes. Thank you for that super chat. And also thanks to Dalgo Solo for your super chat for $5. Thank you very much. Really offering wraparounds. How about a gateful, at least 3 panels? Whoa!
That'd be so cool.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I am down for it. Actually, I have had wraparound covers in my commission list for a while, but I guess, I haven't had examples of the work. I'm like, well, of course I could do a damn wraparound. It's just a long cover. But yeah, I actually have way more fun with that layout. I think there's just so much more you can add in because there's certain things you want to take into account for covers, like the characters have to be a certain size and everything, but if you're doing a wraparound you can just extend the scene. Anyways, I had a ton of fun, and yeah, I'd love to do more. So
Yeah, for gatefolds, I just grabbed the off of Kickstarter. They did an Andy Kubert Art of the X-Men book. It's like a big hardcover, and it comes with like one of the pages is a 3 gatefold insert that's in there. Like that would be so cool to put in a big hardcover book. But like I don't even know. You'd have to like special talk to the printer. I don't know if Mixam would be able to do that, or what printers can still do stuff like that. But I'm sure it's very expensive.
yeah, I bet it is, but that would be awesome
So
if we
dope.
could do that. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. Never forget, never forgive. 31. I guess we shall
will honor
never
it.
forget, never forgive.
31 was
Yeah.
Reggie Miller's number. Never forget. He did it before
forget.
Bancroft.
Cool.
These numbers are just floating around in the ether. No, we'll just plug it.
Yeah, no one knows where they came from.
Phil. Yes, thank you, Cam. I always appreciate you retweeting as well. Phil, it's not Connor related. It's slightly New York related. We headed down to Midtown Comics in New York.
Yes.
And happened to pick up the Lobo cancellations. I had no idea that this was a one-off until I saw your review. This will be the very first Lobo reading experience. Is it a good place for people to read Lobo for the first? Read Lobo for the first time. You had high praise for this.
I would say so. Yeah, you haven't read it yet, I assume.
No, I haven't read it. No, I've
Yeah,
been
it's-
chained to my desk.
Even I don't know
preparing
if you listen to, I did a video on it, but it even has like a glimpse of his origin. So if you've never read any Lobo books before, it tells you about him and how he's the last of his kind and how he basically could regenerate from nothing. And but if you have read the classics from the early 90s, they reference a lot of that stuff. So it's great for a new reader and really good for people that are fans of the old 90s stuff.
I also had to get one of the Batman Beefcake covers.
The Absolute?
Yeah, they were sitting there, and I'm like, one of them was the most expensive one. It was just the logo.
Yeah.
I was like, do I get that one? Does that mean that's the best one? I don't know. I couldn't pick. My favorite cover wasn't in holo foil, but I still wanted to get the holo foil, so I got this one. I think this is the most common one I've seen.
You got suckered into the shininess.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the one that was just like gray on black, that one was kind of. I was like, oh, they clearly wanted people to buy that because it was overpriced as fuck. But no, it's all just a money grab.
There was a lot of the logo one on the shelf that no one had bought, so there was a lot of them left.
True. Sunogasa, yes, it's good. Yeah, I picked up some. I don't have the comics I bought next to me, but I got that new Conan comic. I picked up that Violator one shot. Also got a copy of that Lobo, and which I guess we're all getting into Lobo.
That Violator, if I remember the picture you posted, I think it's the one that Kyle Hotz drew, which he also drew the Lobo book.
I'm gonna go get it.
Oh, really?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, because we were comparing. We thought the colors complemented the inks way better in this than that other one.
I'm pretty sure if it's the issue 2 Violator, I think it's Kyle.
Yeah.
I heard that book is really good. I need to grab that one too.
They had number 1. They had number 1, and we flipped through it, and it was like a completely different art style. It was like, wait, what? We wanted this artwork. Why is it different?
Yeah, that's Kyle. Yeah, that's the same guy who did the Lobo. I think for this series, every issue is a different artist. I think Jonathan Wayshak is doing issue 4, which I'm excited about.
Oh, hell yeah! I love Wayshak's art, and I met him at Heroes. He's really cool.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So of course I got this because I'm like,
so cool.
That looks like Viking stuff. I just looked at everything that was Viking and I bought it. And then of course the Conan.
Apparently that series is really good, Phil.
Yeah, I can't flip through this because they're
which Conan or Violator?
That new Conan one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everyone says it was good. It was good. Multiple people were telling me that this will be worth a read. I haven't had time to read it either, but I look forward to it. Also got this Lobo with that, and I picked up. I don't know if this is any good, but it's Viking stuff. I think this is Deathstroke reimagined as like
Viking Deathstroke. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that's what this is. All winter. I don't usually. That's not usually my thing, but it's Vikings are my thing. Superheroes are not my thing. Vikings are my thing. So I'm like, I'll give this a shot. I got the first 3 issues of this. So I look forward to reading all this. It's fun. Microcosms is great.
We saw it on the shelf and we're like, that looks great, and then looked it up and realized it was superhero related, and we're like, oh.
I know. I was like, I want to get it still, but like, I wish, I don't know. I look for original fantasy stuff, but that's fine. It's fine. I hope it's good.
I also got my hands on something. I also got my hands on a different book that I'm not going to show the full cover
I saw that
of.
in your picture.
Thank you for not showing that.
Phil,
wow.
They had a cover that was like, they have photos of models on the cover. It was an Amaranth special. And they had a non-safe for work Amaranth cover. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't get this. Maybe I should get one of the art covers.
Amaranth, is she a streamer?
Yeah.
She's that Twitch streamer, right?
Uh-huh. The big Twitch
streamer.
God.
How far we've come.
Good old Hexbox here, pretending he doesn't know anything about Amaranth.
Who's Amaranth? I'm on Twitter way too much, but who's Amaranth? I don't know.
You bought her bathwater. Don't deny it.
No.
Yes, that wasn't her.
She was like releasing her phone calls with her boyfriend who didn't want her to leave her house or something, right? That was that.
Yeah,
Twitch
so
streamer?
yes, that's
Oh,
right.
see, Phil has no idea who we're talking about.
Yeah,
right
I've
now.
never heard of her.
No idea, no idea. Hey, what's up, Olive656? Hello, why is Jake's camera caca? I don't know.
I think it's
But his
because
connection
I
has
I genuinely think it's because the Wi-Fi has to pass through my body, and it's there's a lot of body for it to get through, and I think the Wi-Fi gives up halfway through, which is why occasionally I'll
Oh, you know
robot
what that
or
is?
glitch.
It's the lead from all the Monster Energy drinks in your brain that is
There we
stopping.
go.
It all makes sense.
That turns out there is a consequence to consuming large trace amounts of heavy metals over time.
There is a consequence. Snarky said, reading about the Vinland Saga creator. Yes.
Yeah, how was that? You didn't talk about that.
It was great.
Cool.
It was great. Yeah. So very luckily, I got to go to an event that it was very limited, but I was lucky enough to obtain a ticket for an interview. The Vinland Saga creator, his name is Makoto Yukimura, and Kodansha is still, I think it's open until Saturday. So if you're in the New York area, you got like a couple more days to go to this thing. But it's in Soho. They have this pop-up. They just took over this like coffee shop, I think. I don't know what it usually is, but it's like a coffee shop / manga store, and they just took over it. I must have photos somewhere. But it's a whole like setup. They have like a photo op area. Oh, I wish I got my photos ready for it. But
I've got them.
it's like
I'm pulling them up.
yeah, okay. There's like, I must have. Yeah, okay. Jake can pull them up because I send them to him. They have a photo op area. They had like an Attack on Titan. Oh, there you go. Well, that's me and Yukimura Sensei. It was awesome. Oh, and so remember I posted a while ago that I got Fiendish translated into Japanese. We're not quite done yet. My translator is working on 2.5 at the moment, but 1 and 2 are done. So when I realized I was going to this event, I printed out a very ultra limited edition of Fiendish in Japanese. There's only 10 books printed. I'm never going to reprint it again because this isn't for sale. I just printed it for this event to gift them to Yukimura, and it's a bit
They are on the table.
bold of me, but I hope he likes it. And there you go. And that's and I got a signature from him. I got 2 signatures from him. Very, very happy. So
You need to say how he reacted. You got.
well, I mean,
Did he throw it on the ground and spit?
yeah, totally. No, that totally. No, he was very gracious, and he
shouted.
liked
He
it.
shouted.
He was
like,
like,
"This is about my comics."
I don't want to fangirl, but he seemed very surprised because people were bringing gifts, but I don't think there was no one else who brought their comic, and I told the translator, this is my comic, and I got it translated just for this event. So, and it's because he had inspired me. I love Vinland Saga, so I'm glad that he seemed to like it. I hope he actually likes it when he reads it. And the translation, I didn't fuck it up. I'm sure my translator did a great job. If there's any errors, it's because I fucked up the lettering. But hopefully there isn't that. And yeah, the interview was really great too. They had an interview and a Q&A and then a signing. So it's awesome that Kodansha was doing that in America. It wasn't just Yukimura. They had other creators. I think the what was it? A bunch of other Kodansha series. Was it the not Delicious in Dungeon? Was it
the Trigun guy there?
No.
No.
But they had other creators there doing signings and interviews, and it was amazing and I bet there was tons of people there because manga is so big all over the world and in the States. So I bet that's really popular. Yeah, if you're in New York, that event is in Soho. It's still on only until Saturday, and then it'll be done until tomorrow, I think. Oh no, Saturday. I was wrong.
Cool.
Yes. So there you go. Very grateful that I got to do this.
What if you went up to him and you're like, you have the translator there. He's like, I got this. You say you got your book translated just for him so he can read it. And then he's like, I could read English. Why did you? And
Well,
How dare you insult me with this shit?
I follow him on Twitter, and it seems like he doesn't read English, so He's on Twitter.
Did your research. Good.
Yes, I did my research. I am an actual fan. Anyways, that's enough about me. We can take that off now.
He threw the book to the ground. He said, "Security, get this woman out of here. This is my show. This is about Vinland Saga. What is this shit? What is this Vinland Saga fan book? Color? You bothered to color this shit?" Kicked the books into the corner. She got thrown out.
So, enough of me being a fangirl. How much for a Japanese edition? I'm not selling it. Yeah.
I really want to go next year.
Sorry.
You should,
You
Phil.
should.
It'll be. I'm really hoping that we can get in again, and then you can get in, and then we all get to go to New York, and Noel can just come anyway, because you won't apply. Will he?
Yeah,
He'll
you
be,
guys, no, he's
Just
not
apply.
going
You
to
have so much
apply.
stuff.
He'll be
Yes.
guested
Like, we already
by
know.
next year. He'll be
Yeah.
a guest.
I'll
Guest of
sell
honor.
out of my backpack. Sell some crack comics.
They really like when
Sparse-
people do that at New York Comic Con.
That kind of-
Japanese are polite people. He was just being polite. Yeah.
Not this guy. No, he was mean.
I'd love to do the Juarez con. See Ollie in the chat. I think that would be cool too.
Hey, Ollie. Yeah, it seemed like it was a very good show. Intimate.
Heroes in New York.
Yeah, Heroes was
And
great.
the Mexico show. I'd love to do all three of those again. On top
This
of
has
other
been a
cons.
crazy. This has been a crazy convention, yeah. I remember the
It's been
time when I
great.
said I would only come to the US once a year, but then this year, so many
Yeah.
conventions. Oh.
Well, it was all worth it. All worth it.
Mhm.
All right. Enough gushing about New York. I feel like we have a topic, kind of, sort of. Shall we talk about it? Let's talk about it. I don't super have like anything prepared. I just have a couple questions, but I thought we would talk about appropriately enough, because we have a #1 book, a chapter 1 launch today. Thank you, Aaron. Hey, shout out to Aaron. What's up? I did meet Aaron at New York Comic Con. He came by our table many times. So thank you for dropping by. It was great to meet you in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to meet you, man.
Shout out to Aaron and his book. Hell yeah. Thanks
By the
for being
way,
here.
Some person mentioning about going up to 29. We did just sell another throbbing package. So if you'd like, thank you very much. I hope you'll eventually enjoy having my throbbing package delivered to your box. If you want to see who you are in the chat, I'm not going to dox you unless you say it. But yeah, thank you.
Back
Thank you very
the
much.
book. Back the book. Link is pinned. Yeah, so speaking of #1s and backing books, what do you guys do? Like, how do I phrase this? I want to talk about beginning a project. So how do you choose what kind of project you will tackle next? Do you have an arsenal of ideas that you draw from? Is it just a chaotic when the inspiration strikes sort of thing? And when you do decide, for example, I want to create a Western, but it takes place in like an
Russia.
alien planet on fire, which is Russia. Same thing. How you decided that? What are your next steps? That was like 5 questions, but
Well, are any of you guys working on a new thing now?
Yes.
Yeah, you go, Phil. I have something too, maybe, but what you got?
So the Western I'm doing is like a fantasy Western, but tackling this has been different than what I've done in the past. And I was just thinking about this the last couple of days, and I thought of you, Jake, when you're like, I don't like designing things on the page, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to design them beforehand. So a lot of the story preparation that I've done with this Western is a lot of like pre-planning beforehand. And I've also at the same time been listening to a lot of storytelling videos and like how people write and writing process videos and stuff like that. And I know I've listened to some recently that have been like do a little planning and get to writing, because if you plan too much, then you never start writing. So, but definitely for this new one, it has been a lot of preparation, and I've mentioned it here and there, especially on this channel or this show. It's like that pre-planning phase, and like I've actually made a timeline for the series with this Western, so I could know what has happened when. And I'm always, even during the writing process, going back to that and adding things, or either changing things or solidifying them. So a lot of that early work is, for me, specifically on this story, has been even character building, planning early on.
So you've been using WorldForge to do that? Is that what was the you used a website to put all
World
that together,
Anvil,
right?
World Anvil, which is,
Oh, I've heard of that.
it's like it's made for tabletop gaming, like RPGs, but they have a time, and it's free to use. You just log in with your Google account, and they have a timeline, basically plugin where you could be like, this happens, this is a big event, it's a, someone dies. And they also have a character thing where you can keep track of your character, profile him out, like maybe he has quirks and ticks about him, he's a liar, stuff like that. And that has helped me specifically for this story plan it out. And I mean, I don't know if I would do this with every story I'm going to do, but because it's new and it's not something that I've had in my head for like 5 or 6 years, that's the approach I'm going for. And I think it's helping me kind of fill in the gaps, because with something like the Lost Pages, with a character like the Silhouette, I started thinking of the Silhouette back in like 2010. So I know the vibe and the decisions he would make. This process, I think, gave me a leg up on filling that time, being with the characters and the world.
So so instead of basically just sitting there and typing the story out as it comes into your mind, and you're pre-planning all these elements, here's the actual question. When you started writing the story, did you let a lot of those pre-planned elements be changed and swapped around as the story actually came to life, or did you stick pretty close to what you'd already planned?
It's funny because a lot of the stuff that I planned has not even been in stuff that I've written yet. Like, it's down the line stuff or back in flashbacks. So the stuff that I'm writing now is a lot of character and character moments to introduce you to this world and the character. But there has been some stuff that has changed during the writing process, which everything does. Like, I think the writing process is very fluid, and that's why people say, get to writing, because that's when you probably, I would say, learn the most about your story is in the writing process. Like, that's how I work stuff out as well. So it's a little bit of both. Like, I've changed stuff, but I know where I'm going. That's the main thing of this planning stuff, is like, now you have a target.
Do you have an ending? Is that target?
Oh, good question. Well, how important do you guys think it is to plan your ending from the start?
I think it's very important.
Yeah,
Cool.
and you can change as you go. I know an anecdote I heard that I liked. It's from there's something about Mary, the 1990s rom-com with Ben Stiller and Cameron Diaz. But in that one, at the end, there's like 3 guys who are obsessed with her, and it might even be, it's actually 4 guys. And the idea is that she's going to pick one.
Yep.
And she has to pick Ben Stiller because it's a rom-com and he's the main character. And they had written all these drafts, and they're like, it feels like fake. It feels not good. We don't like it. So they're like, I don't even know if we're going to make the movie. And they're like, all right. Let's just write a draft where she's allowed to pick anyone, and she can pick any of the 4. And so they did that. and all of a sudden she had all this agency, and the movie took off, and it was so funny. And then luckily she does pick Ben Stiller at the end. They're like, yes, we got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the ending is super important. It's as I think about it, like your character needs to have a purpose, right? That's one of the main like 6 things you need to know about your story is like they want something. And as a writer, the ending to my story is my purpose when I'm writing that story. Like that is the thing, that's the goal, and that should be carried out with all of the themes in mind, you know?
Yeah,
So,
when we
yeah.
when we talked about that dramatica theory of writing on the show, about how a story is like you have a philosophy and you approach it from every angle. The ending is essentially the answer to the story's philosophy, which is its theme. The ending is essentially the answer to the theme. It's the answer to the question you pose at the beginning. And it can, you could end up with a Shaggy Dog story or something where you are just writing and having fun. But it Go on.
Yeah, a lot of times like you might know what's going to happen, but you don't know what the final outcome will be. Like it can be good, you know, like the good guy and the bad guy are going to fight, but you still don't know who will win, and that's probably a good okay position to be in.
I think that's okay.
You don't know who has the superior genes and who has the inferior genes.
And if you write a draft where the bad guy wins, you're like, well, I can still fix that. I need to redraft some stuff, because you can write yourself in a corner where you're like, there's actually literally no way to get my main guy out of this without like author plot armor or whatever, author hand stuff, God, whatever shit.
Plot armor.
Makina. Yeah.
I think at the end, those situations where, well, knowing that, for example, this event is going to happen, your antagonist and protagonist will have this face off right at the end of the story. Sometimes that's enough, and not knowing the exact details, especially if the ending is far away, because for example with Fiendish, I know how it ends, but also I don't know the exact details of all the nuances, and I've been fine with that because I know all the logical steps. It's almost like the logical steps are there, but the emotional steps and the little emotional things that fill in the cracks of the story aren't there yet. But I think that will build up naturally over the course of the story, because so much happens, especially in a long form story, as you write. So many ideas and so many lines from the characters and little character interactions build up naturally as you create. It's I think maybe on a logical level, like the bones of the story, and knowing how having a skeleton of the ending is very important. Otherwise you don't know where you're going. Like you guys were saying, a story is like a proof or an essay, and the ending is an answer to a question. Well, the entire story is a series of questions and answers. We've talked about this before. You start by asking some questions, answering it, but then asking more questions, and then the whole story is a series of questions, answers, and that builds up to a climactic conclusion that is thematically relevant and ties in with the character's development, etc., etc. But the emotional stuff could be, I think that can be done as you go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it could be kind of boring if you're like following a super beated out outline word for word or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone exactly does that, but
I know creators who want to plan everything out all the way to the end, and if people can do that, like, and as in comics, have everything completely planned out all the way to the end before they even begin. And I don't know if that always works. Maybe for some people it works, but sometimes it might stop you from getting started on a project, because I really think certain things are not possible to plan out far into the future. You need an outline, and that's good enough. You have to trust yourself.
I feel like if I was to plan that much, I would be basically risking getting bored of the story by the because on this show
Huh.
I think of new stupid ideas all the time, right? That's fun, thinking of new stuff. So I can imagine if I had a really regimented plan. Oh, you're just running along these tracks that me of the past has already set. I would find that so boring. So like I've planned enough where I know that I've even planned ahead things that will be challenging to solve
Yeah.
because that will be fun in the future to try and solve it. So it's not even just planning the story, it's like planning the experience of making the story because I think that'll it'll force me to create the best stuff with the future brain that's going to exist in like 5 or 10 years,
The
which is
gout
like
Extra
brain.
lead. Extra
yeah,
lead, yeah.
full of gout crystals, full of lead, um,
Yeah.
channeling all that moon energy.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
so when I was like getting really into screenwriting in my 20s, and I had my mentor Lou, who I've talked about before, I remember thinking like it's so hard to like start a story, and I almost couldn't do it. And the one way I could do it is if I wrote other people's characters. And I was wondering that for a while. I was like, how come I can write other people's characters, but I can't write my own? And like Lou, he had written a few screenplays, and I wrote like a sequel to one of his, and then he had like pitched one. And a lot of these are me just getting better at writing, so they kind of get thrown away when they're done. But he had pitched one, and I just wrote the version of it. And then I wrote right before Earthbound. I wrote a Robin Hood one, and I was pretty happy with that one. But it wasn't like complete or whatever. It wasn't like solid, but there's a lot of good stuff in it. And then I wrote Earthbound, and that was when I kind of started to be a little more comfortable writing my own stuff. But I think it's the sandbox. It's like the first thing you need before you even start writing the first thing is you need to know the sandbox. And Robin Hood comes with the sandbox already complete, so you can just jump in and start having fun. You're like, yeah, there's a
Sure.
band of thieves in the woods, and there's a sheriff, and there's like a princess. She's kind of like, she's like a spy. She like sneaks out and like reports and helps the thieves and stuff. And he might enter a tournament undercover to blah 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 blah. It just goes forever. You get all excited.
Yeah.
But if you're writing your own story, there is no sandbox right at the beginning, so you got to make it yourself. And it doesn't mean like a whole like book of world building and then you start. But the sandbox could be like, I feel like for Seinfeld, the sandbox is like he's a guy in New York City with an ex-girlfriend. They're still friends, and his neighbor's really weird. And he has one rival who lives in the building too, and his best friend is there who's really neurotic, and that's it or something. And then that's actually enough to get started. But it is hard to think about to build that stuff sometimes.
yeah, for
Yeah.
something like Seinfeld, it's almost as if the approach there is think of good character dynamics, then throw things at those characters to see how the dynamics would like consume that problem and spit it out.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that works really well for episodic stuff.
Hmm.
I was about to say that
Yeah.
there is a type of storytelling where you don't really plan to have an ending, and episodic stuff is like that. Well, you plan every episode. You just have a premise. That's works better for high concept stories. Which, quick explanation of high concept versus low concept. I know this is something that I myself was mixed up on years ago as well. But high concept means the premise is easily explained. For example, you could say teenager gets spider powers. That's Spider-Man. Teenager in New York teenager gets spider powers, proceeds to become superhero. Easily explained. Or and like, I don't know, a florist on the moon, like those an interesting thing, an interesting setting, or somebody gets a power, like really one line or one or two sentences, you can explain the entire concept and extrapolate everything from that. Those are high concept stories. But low concept means usually it's more about the character development. It's more, there's more world building. Fiendish is more low concept. It's not it doesn't, it's not low concept as in, well, there's not a lot of conceptual work going into it, or there's not a lot of world building. It actually means that it's not as easily explained quickly.
It's more
Yeah,
ornate.
It's in the weeds. I always thought that high concept meant it has a really cool concept. And I thought low concept was just like, they haven't really thought of anything cool. It's just characters milling about. So, like, a character focused thing in a fantasy world that still has magic, I'm like, that still has magic and stuff. So that's high concept. But no, it's more like it's like premise versus details. Like premise versus characters.
Is it more about the premise, or is it more about the details and the characters and the slow burn? That's actually, I don't like the terms high concept or low concept either. Not because I find it insulting. I don't care. It's just not an apt description. They should call it high premise or high high character. Yeah, it is very confusing, but there you go. Just a quick explanation there. But yeah, episodic storytelling is usually more high concept. One of my favorite episodic stories, which I usually don't gravitate towards, but Mushishi is high concept. It's well, is it really high concept? I guess it is. It is. There are life forms that are invisible to most people, but exist in nature and cause regular people all sorts of ailments and trouble. And a man who can see them and deal with them, called a Mushi, goes around solving people's problems. That's a terrible pitch. I'm so sorry. But Mushishi is a wonderful anime. And anyways, it's very episodic and it's well done. But
I have a quick high concept for you guys. It's kind of stupid, but I want to do it. I think I want to do it as like either a short comic or a short story at some point. But it's a basketball player who gets introduced by his new teammate to the team's secret handshake, because they do it in the middle of the game. Like, if you hit a three, he's like, this is what it is. And then he tells him, like, but you got to do it like only at certain times and only in certain scenarios, like if you hit a three or whatever. So there's kind of this like lore to the secret handshake. And the guy is kind of like, well, who told you? And he's like, well, it's the 70s guy. So they talk to he's like 80 now. He's the old basketball player. And they're like, who taught you? And they kind of investigates where the handshake came from. And he finds out it came from ancient Rome.
Is this a plot of the show Pete and Pete? I feel like
what?
That's what's
No,
going on.
I hope not. I hope Pete and Pete didn't steal my idea.
Totally stole your idea. EC totally pitched that better than me. Magic Plankton Doctor. Go on. Sorry.
Well, that's the end of mine.
Well,
you should instead, maybe this would be pretty high concept. It's like a theme park, but dinosaurs.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Amazing. Someone should
get
make
it.
that movie.
I understand now.
It's like it's the future, and there's robots that aren't allowed to kill, but
It's
one
like
of them
it's in
kills.
space, but nobody can hear you scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just space.
Like would a high concept show be like we're in hell but we're office workers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
Is
guess
that
so.
It's like it's the Matrix, but it's really cool, and Neo's really cool and good fighter.
But that's just the Matrix. I also find it very helpful to have someone to tell your ideas to, and I profusely apologize to my girlfriend, but also thank her for listening to my ramblings about stuff. Especially like someone that'll tell you bluntly how things are, that isn't gonna want to just stroke your ego. I think that's very helpful. But it's funny too, because what you were saying, Jake, where some things you like to leave unplanned for later, or some things you will figure out along the way. It's funny, this Western, like I'm talking about it all the time to my girlfriend, and she'll be like, well, how does this person die? And I'm like, it could either go this way or that way. And she's like, you don't even know how they die yet? And I'm like, well, it doesn't need to be solid now. And she's like, tell your artist to stop drawing if you don't know what's gonna happen. I'm like,
That is so funny.
no,
Hey, I
you know,
like her.
because a lot of writing and creating stories is like there's so many different paths you could go down that then affect things down the line. So it's like it can either go this way or that way, and maybe the end point is very similar, but I just don't know which way I want it to go right now, you know. But I'm always keeping that in mind, where it's like, yeah, there is gonna come a point in the road of the story where it's gonna have to split, and that will affect some aspects of the story down the line. And it's okay if you don't know that right now, especially in like long form comic book stuff that we're doing, where we want to do a series that might be like 6 books or more. There's gonna be a lot of points like that. So if you guys are creators out there and you don't have everything set in stone, that's totally fine, because things are going to change down the line as you go through a series. And I think that's something that's probably very unique to the comic book medium if you're doing a series, you know, and you're planning to do it for a long time.
I
planned.
don't... Go ahead.
Oh, go on. Well, so like that whole planning too much, you can end up feeling like a prison. On my game Hollow Fist, go to fist.zone. It's a real website. Check out my game on Steam. It's not out yet. Part of the reason it's not out yet is because I did similarly to what you did, Phil, where I planned a bunch of lore elements and sort of being super inspired by like Futurama, Simpsons, all this animation stuff, like character focused stuff where you just create characters that have personalities and then you can throw stuff at them. I had this kind of like hellish combination of characters that were just built to have dynamics, and then like lots of lore stuff that had different characters in different places, which was like basically this lots of elements that had to be threaded perfectly in order to include them all. And I was like, I loved all of them. It was almost like that embarrassment of riches thing you talk about, Noel. And I wanted so badly to thread them all that I could never think of an actual straightforward story plot that would have been engaging in an interactivity sense, but then also managed to include all the characters and elements and give them all
what
the
that
right
problem's
spotlight.
almost like? It's just like if you make Simpsons the movie or Futurama the movie, it's like really hard. And they do it, but the Simpsons movie wasn't that great. There's some pretty good Futurama movies though, but it's like a new challenge, and it is really hard. But
Yeah, it's like you design a Hall of Springfield, and then you're like, how do I have one story that includes all of
everything?
Yeah. That's like pilots. Pilots are hard too. You're like, how do I? Because I can't. There's all like all this fun stuff, and I can't do any of it really. I can only do one thing. What can you do?
Yeah, we're adapting comics or manga, you know, from the books into either one movie or like one season of a series, and then it gets canceled or whatever, you know.
Speaking of pilots, which ties into the theme of beginning stories, what with all this talk of whether if a story's high concept, this is something that I ran into when trying to do chapter 1 of Fiendish, which looking back, I feel like I would have done a much better job. I think chapter 1 is still awesome, but I would have added more. I would have had more character development. And the reason it was difficult to do in chapter 1, and I decided I would just go with like action scene, like a whole book of action to grab people's attention with a little bit of mystery dribbled in, was because Fiendish is low concept. It's more about the characters, and it's not. It's more about the characters, not just a premise, and that's really hard to do an opener for. So what do you guys think is important in creating a pilot or a chapter 1? Like, what are the most important things to lay on the table?
Does anyone want to declare what the most important things anyone want to
what things like what do you go for? It doesn't have to be like, oh yeah, I'm right. Come on, guys.
Okay, I'll go on, Noel.
Well, I had to do that with Percival, and that was one where I kind of wrote a handful and then picked one, and I'm like, this one is the best to be the beginning, because it introduces the concepts that I want to talk about for the rest of the series. Like it introduces the pantheon of the gods that the people kind of worship in the area, and it introduces themes of like artists existing in this world, and Percival kind of going among those two things and getting into trouble kind of, and then using the Grail. And so I was like, okay, it's checking some boxes. That was all it was for me at the end, was like, can I efficiently check enough boxes that it makes it worth it? And then you kind of pull the green light or whatever.
Yeah, like intrigue on the screen.
Intrigue.
Intrigue, JW says good characters.
Ornateness.
Henry says
Well,
establish the characters.
Impact.
Go ahead.
no, there's okay, because there's the two sides. Intrigue, I genuinely think it is the most important thing, because that is the moment-to-moment interactivity of the story that's going to keep you going. If I plan a story now, it's going to be so different to how I approached anything else before, because I've been fully converted to intrigue thinking. I used to think, what are a bunch of cool elements that if you throw them together would be entertaining? And that's kind of what CARNAL is. But that ends up being so difficult with the amount of like revisions you have to do to find out how to weave those elements together to create the intrigue. Nowadays, when I'll think of a new story, it's almost like just thinking of the page turns or thinking of the questions you raise and then how you interestingly answer them and how things get reframed as you go to keep the interest up no matter what. And every other element can change to serve that.
Yeah. And real quick with that, there's a little like flip side to that coin that's kind of interesting, is that sometimes I think the author, they overestimate the intrigue. Like the audience might not care sometimes, even if it's like a question, the audience would be like, eh. But that happened when I was working on a short film, and the director was like, all right, here's what we do. We're going to like peer around the corner, and there's going to be like a guy tied to a chair. And so the audience is going to be like, dude, why is that guy tied to the chair? And then there's going to be a guy behind him, and they're going to be like, who's that guy? And he was naming all these questions aloud of what the audience would be thinking. And then when we eventually made the movie, it was really bad. Nobody thought any of those questions. Nobody cared. And I don't know why exactly people don't care, but it's like, it sort of has to do with interactivity. It's like, and it has to do with like the X factor. Like some things are just legit intriguing. Like even as far as intrigue is like the dinosaurs theme park, but dinosaurs. It's almost, if they even just say like we're going to a theme park, but there's dinosaurs, and we'll be there in 20 minutes if you don't turn off the YouTube video. So keep watching. Like people would be like, oh, got to keep watching. I want to see the dinosaurs. Brandon Sanderson calls that the promise. Have you guys heard of that?
The promise,
I'm sure we've talked about that. The promise.
Well, in Jurassic Park, I think when you do, it does obviously create an instantaneously intriguing question of how is this going to play out. But when the real intrigue happens is when the storm starts hitting up and things start falling apart. Like that's when the real intrigue comes into play. They slow burn on a bunch of stuff for a while, setting up the believability of that world with the rational skeptics, because it's like it's a fantasy horror, really. Jurassic Park is. But then as soon as you realize a storm is coming in, and like there's this guy who's going to shut down a system, and there's people out. That is the ultimate interactivity of Jurassic Park. There's people put in. You introduce all the characters, so you know their personalities. You know all of those elements. You put them in like this vulnerable situation where everyone expects them to be safe. A storm rolls in and the park shuts down. That's when the intrigue is instantly like really ramps up. And from then on, you're gripped to your seat the whole time.
Well, that's a key point, because intrigue isn't just one thing. It's not just one question. It's things serially going wrong and serially having more questions. JW mentioned a problem with intrigue is that you're banking on the idea the audience will stick around. I don't think anyone should do that. Don't take anything for granted. Don't assume, well, the audience is gonna come back or they will stick around because you lay down one intriguing question. Do everything you can to incentivize them to keep reading. Answer some of the questions, present them a premise, but then create more
Yeah.
questions that I want to keep reading. And something I've learned from so I've been watching Dr. Stone, as I've been talking about and nerding out about. Dr. Stone's very, very well structured, and Dr. Stone is almost all plot, very little deep character work. For example, I was watching Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho is all character work, all psychology. Dr. Stone is the opposite. It's all plot, all technology, which kind of fits the theme of science. Like, the characters have personalities, but it's very external. How do we solve this external problem? And it's just as interesting as a more internal story, like Mob Psycho, more character-focused work, because what they do in Dr. Stone is they present a problem. We're going to go to this island, and this is the plan, or what, like, there's the whole arc where they go to island, but just in more broad terms, we have a plan. This is how we're going to solve it, and we're going to execute our plan to solve the problem, and there's ups and downs, but it looks like we're going to actually solve the problem, and oh no, everything falls apart in the end. How do you get out of this? Everyone's pushed into the corner again and again and again, and the whole series is, we have a plan, we're going to solve our problem, and then everything falls apart. And it's just really intelligent how the characters pull a solution out of their ass every time, and it doesn't get boring, because the writers put thought into the problem solving. It's constant problem solving, and that type of intrigue is compelling. You're not taking for granted that the readers will come back.
Yeah.
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 Getting back to the question about the pilot, right? Like starting out and grabbing people. I watched a video on like, what should your opening page be like of like your novel or whatever, or your comic. And a lot of what people say and what I've heard in creative spaces is with comic creators, like, you want to open up on action or as close to the action as possible to hook your reader in. I think that's true in a lot of cases in comics. I actually did, for my Lost Pages 1 campaign, the supplemental book, Myths of the Lost Pages, is basically all pilots. It's, I want to say 9 or 10 stories, 4-page short stories about a new, different character. And I mean, Bancroft, when that book came out, he said he enjoyed that book more than the main book. And there was a variety of different characters, but it kind of forces you, writing those short stories, to boil the story into the essence of conflict and intrigue and character, because you have 4 pages to explain who your character is to the audience, try to hook them in, and that goes down to paneling, narration if there's any narration, and you're using all that page space you have succinctly to get this voice across of this new character that no one's ever heard of. And that was awesome. It was a fun exercise, and I actually have that on Global Comics. If anybody wants to read Myths of the Lost Pages, or they can get it from zadecomics.com. But there's a bunch of different characters in there. You guys could see how I fared with that. But I think that was fun, because like once you get to page 3, you got to have something big going on.
Yeah, like it. I definitely took that approach to CARNAL. It was an action scene where something big is going to happen, and you lead them one way, and then it flips in the opposite direction. And how you flip it is, I feel like the first scene in it, the first like story in a series too, it kind of has to behave like a microcosm of what the rest of it's gonna be. Otherwise, you end up with like Up, where the tone shifts, and the most of the film is completely different to the opening. Like you should have this, like, from my point of view, I always try to have a really condensed version of scene that represents like what is this actually gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, me and Jared are co-writing another script right now, just in the very beginning phases, and it's like it's rollerbladers with like special spray paint that calls down a satellite to like nuke shit, but then there's protection spray paint too. And so they're whatever, they're like, and then it's like Jet Set Radio, like they're just doing spray paint wars kind of. But it starts, or we were building up to this first big scene where on this big bridge, a suspension bridge, two skaters do a duel. So they both have knives and they grind all the way down the suspension to meet in the middle, and then they like, you know, clash and maybe one of them dies or whatever. And so we were building up to that, and then we started writing, and Jared's like, we should just make this the first scene. And I was like, genius. So we kind of cut everything from before that, and some of it might come up later, but yeah.
That actually reminds me of a thing I've been thinking recently. With these long form stories, you think of stuff that's cool, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna let that happen later. Like, we'll build up to that. We'll get there. But I've found that there's a chance that it's like if the audience don't, if there's no intrigue, the audience don't care. Like, if they're not going to be around when that happens, is it really going to be cool? Some of the stuff you think is cool, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe you get there and it's lame, and what was the point in holding it? Bring it forward as you can, right? Trust in yourself to think of cooler stuff later. Like, if you think of a cool thing, it's like, fine, I'm gonna put it, how about I put it in the first story instead of story 5 when we're gonna slow build to it, and then it's more potent, and then you can just think, okay, how do I build on that next, and then build on that. Like, don't be too protective over these little gems that you think are amazing. Just like get them in, put them in the story.
Yeah, I agree. If it's a big plot point that you necessarily just need to establish a bunch of stuff to get to, then sure, you can't get to that big scene that you really want to write ahead of time. But if it's something like, well, I want to hold off on introducing this one world building element or something, or I don't want to, goodbye. We lost him.
His lead in his brain really stopped it. He'll be back.
Yeah. Oh, he's back. There you go. But I agree with that, and that's something that I haven't learned. I think I feel I saw you had something pulled up, and I wanted to show the beginning of Fiendish too. I think I had a decent beginning to Fiendish. I think I could have put more in. So the beginning of Fiendish is a flashback. And I took the advice of the idea and the advice that I've heard of having an attention-grabbing beginning that has both character and intrigue. And what I did was have the opening of Fiendish being a flashback to my main character, Casimir's town being destroyed. So this big action scene, there's a mysterious character. I'm just going to fucking show it. Why am I actually going on about it? I think it's meant to be something that's immediately a hook. Here you go. So the first pages are this. So you open, it's my main character as a kid. He's been hurt. The town's burning. Immediately there's a question. And then in the next page, you see a woman with torn clothes and a bunch of weird monsters in a medieval town, and she looks kind of weird. Yes, that is censored. It is fine. Everything is censored, YouTube. Don't come for me. And she says a strange line of, why didn't you help us, Casimir? And that's not explained. We don't know who she is. We don't know what is going on here. And then the monster kills Casimir's brother. And we don't know what happens after that, but the next page is years later, and I'm jumping into another scene. We're in the middle of a scene. I'm not explaining too much. I'm just trying to set up some intrigue. This is Casimir as an adult. He's in the mountains looking for a missing person, and that ties into the monsters in a few pages, but this is 4 pages in, and I'm hoping that I've established a character backstory, world building, and a mystery, and at least the fact that my character is kind of a dick, because he's being a dick in this page. So there you go. But there's still, if I was to redo this, I think I would add even more in, but that's what I was going for.
Yeah, with CARNAL, I actually sat and tried to think of several cold opens that would be microcosms of just the tone of the entire series that could end up being put at the beginning of like any story. That was super potent. Maybe you should be thinking of ones that reflect the overall story that you're about to go into, but you can kind of think of a collection of them and like have them in your back pocket too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Ooh.
So this is from that Myths of the Lost Pages book. This is our wild card story. This man, I wrote this a long time. I wrote this before we put out Magic Cop, actually. Maxi Dalla, the art, so cool. But I just wanted to point out the narration here. You have this cool opening shot, and even the first line. This is wild card, thinking or whatever. But he says, "Even after all our centuries on this earth, Egypt is still one of my favorite places." And just like when I read that a couple minutes ago, and I'm like, that right there is like, it gives you a glimpse that whoever's talking is very, very old, that has been around on Earth for a long time. And even that opening line could just be, intriguing to a reader, hopefully wanting them to learn more. But the how Maxi like laid this out, and I think did a great job on building to the to character moments. Page one ending with the two characters getting sacked by random mysterious figures, leading you into the second page. There's some comedy elements here. His best friend's a talking dog, and then when you come to the big page turn and understand through the narration why they're there, this big moment, and it's like, oh shit, and giant ass Anubis is here. And so I, for these short stories, wanted to put some action, some character, and a taste of I guess leaving the readers wanting more. And I found it a very fun way to explore characters and learn more about them yourself. And in fact, for the Western that I'm doing, I have a basically like 14-page short story that's acting as a preview that I'm actually going to put out next year and sell on our site, like we did with those special twinkle foil covers.
Twinkle foil.
Yeah, but they're super fun. If you guys are building characters, I would encourage you guys to do short stories with them as well. It's a really, really good exercise.
I agree with that. You know what has helped me with fleshing out my characters is I have 0.5 chapters structured into Fiendish. I have like a vague idea for what to do with them. So what my 0.5 chapters are is Fiendish has probably 9 or 10 main books, and these are thick books. They're like the size of most mainstream trades, all perfect bound, like 60, 70 pages. But
yeah,
so each, like tons of these chapters, but in between I have floppies that are meant to be side quests or character backstories and so on and so forth, and it's meant to flesh out the world and explore the characters more, and forcing myself to start writing those and think of, well, how do I create a compelling story that they're all supposed to be one-shots too, because I want them to be one-shots that are just one and done. You can read them on their own, but you'll want to find out more about the character. So it's self-contained, but it makes you want more, and just those goals has forced me to think of the best ways to transmit a character's motivations and how they react to problems, and how to set up a situation that exposes their character in the most entertaining and efficient way within like 25 or so pages, which is more like a traditional comic chapter, because writing for a short story is very, very different than a long form story. But starting with short stories can train you for the long form stuff, because, well, the long form stuff, you can do so much more. You can build up to these epic conclusions, but nobody's going to keep reading until your epic conclusion if you can't keep them hooked with these little snippets along the way.
Right. And it really helped like push forward what your characters stand for, right? And ideas that you want reoccurring ideas that you want your readers to latch onto.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. I have missed a bunch of chats, so let me get caught up real quick. Hexbox, oh my god. Hexbox
Wow.
super
Oh my
chatted
God.
Xbox is back.
like
Wow.
almost an hour ago. I
Vindicated.
apologize. So Phil's alt account says, "Is this where I claim
Nope.
my trophy?" Cheersies. His hands are. We got to go back to an hour ago, 11:50 p.m. If Phil was typing on the side, you got to look at the reflections in his room to see
Yeah,
what he
Phil-
was doing.
The use of the word cheersies also makes Jake a suspect.
Sus
Oh
Jake?
no, it was Jake all along.
Cheersies. Yeah, we all know I'm super knowledgeable of all of cock history.
Yeah.
Cheersies.
You know, Angela
I don't know
says
if
that a
that's really
lot.
a Jake word.
Angela says
Could be
cheersies,
Angela.
so.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
It is Angela. Angela. I will say it that way now, because
Angel A.
I'm embracing my German quarter. Well, thank you for the super chat, Hexbox, mystery man or woman of the hour. FK322, gifted 5
Dang.
memberships. Thank you very,
Yeah,
very
that's
much.
great.
Thank you.
Man.
Muchas gracias. Thank you. Let's see. Maromi, back the book, back at 36.
Yes.
Anyone who is jumping in, don't forget that we are promoting Carnal the Barbarian 1 by Jake that just launched earlier today. The link to the campaign is pinned in the chat and also in the description. So everyone go back that if you are watching the replay or if you have just joined us and you're enjoying our story talk, go back that book.
Do you have an unrefreshed window with the campaign in it that you had from earlier?
Yeah, I did refresh it, but not like super recently.
Okay. Like,
Oh.
it sits there and refreshes it.
My-
Oh, it went up. I
Constantly.
guess we can show it now. Go on. Wait.
No,
let's do a refresh. Let's see how much it jumps up from when you did it
Okay.
earlier.
Well, my screen is at 28 backers, so you can check if we're gonna, totally.
Pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up.
All right.
Pull it
Okay.
up.
All right. Let's go. Dun
Okay,
dun dun.
It was at 28. Who knows when this was left, but yes, I think we may have had a few more people filtering in.
Could we refresh?
2836.
I did see someone say you hit 3,000, so
Oh,
it's time to
really?
refresh.
Wow.
Someone said that. It could be close to
Spoilers.
It was Hexbox. Don't trust him.
no. Yeah, someone spoiled our fun in the chat, but anyways, all right. Actually, you know what? Let's play the trailer. How about that? Because this is a
How
cool
about
trailer.
that?
How about that? How about that's the
Cash me outside. How about that?
Oh God! If I start talking like that, just
Get that
fucking
quote on your
end
opening
me.
video.
Yeah, that'll really go over well. All right, I'll play this. Hopefully, I shared sound. Come on.
In the world of Deploria, after years of solitude, a dark, erotic curse threatens to be unleashed.
Walking through the forest, fresh blue guys on the prowl. There's only one man there to stop them. If you just stop joking around, they come here to invade your lands, bring life here to an end. But you just want to get real drunk and make lots of new friends. Carnal the Barbarian, Carnal the Barbarian, Carnal the Barbarian.
See, Phil, all you need is one very stressful night before launch to very quickly put it's how you create the energy needed to get something done very quickly.
One evening, the trailer thrown together over one evening of mega stress. Well done! That was a good trailer. A great voiceover too. Wonder who did that. Amazing.
Yeah, I had to find dig out some actors of the Barbarian. Yeah, the AI
Barbarian.
the AI isn't good at getting words right sometimes. It can still
Shit is so fucking crazy. It can fucking do everything. I can't believe that was AI music.
I thought that was Allie. People
Man.
were saying it was Allie in chat.
No.
Yeah, well,
I think
look,
Allie can pronounce barbarian.
The name Allie has AI in it.
That's
so
true.
Are we saying that Allie is secretly an AI?
Maybe she is, and she's not real all along. I totally haven't met her in person. Maybe she's a hologram, and this is all an illusion.
She's a humanoid holobody. Thank you, anyone who has backed so far. I hope you liked the trailer. I hope you're excited about the book. It does follow the adventures of CARNAL, who just wants to get real drunk and make a few friends. He's all alone in the forest after years of solitude. He doesn't have any friends, and suddenly a whole bunch of them start invading the place. I wonder what will happen. But yes,
what will happen?
I wonder what will happen. But it's been going great. We may have gone up a few more backers since this page was left there.
I shall refresh. I just want to show off all the covers. Look at that giant. That looks fucking terrifying.
Big old face.
Right, holy crap. Let's zoom out. All right, go back to top. We're refreshing. Let's see.
Yeah!
Box backers since then. Woo! Thank you everyone who's back. If you're watching and you're backing from the chat, shout out your backer number and we will shout you out back.
We're resurrecting angels tonight.
That's right. Yeah, I saw Moromi shouted out. Vaughn Coleman was in here. He said he backed earlier.
Thank you, Vaughn, for backing.
Thank you.
It's appreciated.
Thank you
both. Yeah, we're up to 8 people have decided to grip a throbbing package of their own.
Damn.
And in the 3,000. Yes.
In the cover war, it is currently 9:15 to Irene. So Irene is pummeling me into the ground.
Yes,
on,
everyone back my cover.
No.
That's
Get
the Rini cover right here. Donna. Get this right here. That's clearly, I mean, Jake's cover looks amazing as well. Look at this. There's so much detail. There's so much going on. But here, mine's like the dark one. His is like the fun pink one. Isn't this like, this is like, very obviously our personalities are showing through our covers. It's very plain and obvious. The darkness. But yeah, honestly, it doesn't matter which cover you back. All the money goes to Jake. And you'll get an awesome book. But
don't tell them that.
Mine.
No, don't tell them that.
No,
you guys need to thoroughly embarrass me. I need to be D-pants in front of everyone by you buying so many Irene covers that I just fall to the knees in
this is like a form of like domination.
I was trying to be gracious, but I mean, obviously that would be great. Yeah, I'd love to. I like a good fight. So yes, back my cover. There you go.
If you want to really humiliate me, back my book. Is all I'm saying. If you want to really stick it to me,
Jake wants a metaphorical stiletto on his nutsack. So to do that,
oh my god.
And you can do that for the very low price of whatever the book is in dollars. That I don't know what it is because I didn't set it in that. But yeah, you can stiletto up. Wait, scroll up so I can say the actual price of something. There you go, $26. That's all it takes.
It's like what about the animals. It's like in the arms of the angels. It's like for just the price of a cup of coffee, you can stiletto Jake.
Some people are into that, but okay. Hey, so abuse Jake, everybody. Or
Bye bye.
back
Buy
this
the
campaign by
pin.
backing this campaign. Yeah, the pin is
Buy the
so
pin.
great. I would also like a close up of those shirts. Those are awesome. But yes, the pin. Where's the
Wait,
pin?
We
Look,
gotta
so
show
cute.
we gotta show Phil and Pat the shirt ones, the shirt previews, because
Pin.
wait, check out, you can scroll down.
Yeah, I forgot to look at the shirts actually because they're all over print.
Do you
Okay,
have a
wait.
high res of that to pull up on your end? Because I think
could.
it's more impressive. Like if you see it, yeah, because it's so tiny on this
Well,
page.
Well, you
I
can
can't
you can you
zoom
can
in.
press, you can control and mouse wheel in to actually look at those. But the reason I wanted to bring them up, like, Printful gives you all of these little mock-ups, and so you make the scene where like the woman's looking behind, like she's sticking her ass out at the guy. She's like, "Hey,
There we
baby,
go.
do you like my shirt?" She's looking back at him, and he's
Nice
looking over.
pants.
You can't see his head; it's been chopped off. But they're flirting. There's a story
chopped
within
off
the
head.
perk image.
You should redraw
Wow.
their heads. That'd be fun.
Yeah. That's the meme, Alex. You gotta just Photoshop a new head onto these
No.
bodies in the meme.
These are great. I
Yeah.
love all over prints from Printful. It's good quality too, and look at that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
turned out
one
well.
looks
Amy.
phenomenal.
That's not bad for yeah, having finished it 2 hours before the launch.
It's awesome.
Go me. Not too
Yeah,
bad.
Literally, we're still the campaign finally got finished putting together. It literally 10 minutes before streaming on Bancroft, so it came together right at the last minute. But yeah, get a
Very
shirt,
well
get a
done.
pin, get the book. A bunch of people have been getting the Sketchy Starts book, which is the entire story in layout form. And I'm looking in all of the backings and seeing what you're getting. It's really cool to see what you guys are adding on. People getting both covers and Sketchy Starts is awesome. Everyone who's fully cock-locked and ready to rock with the throbbing package, you're the best. Yeah, I'm looking forward to drawing those sketch cards. Now I'll be able to actually draw something that I know that they'll like. Because when it was the preview books and I was drawing in the back for everyone who signed up,
Oh,
I
yeah.
had no idea. I had no fucking idea what to draw. I was like, do they want something silly or sexy? So yeah, at least now you can pick a character.
Very nice. Very nice. And you're
Go
going
back.
to have pages of this going up on Global Comics.
Yes,
Parts of it. Part of it.
I'm,
Not all of it, but part of it.
I'm basically working on the first scene, the first couple of scenes, and when they are done, they're going up with Global Comics for all of you to read and check out, so you can back with confidence. And everyone who has backed already gets to actually read the first snippet. I'm looking forward to doing that. Global Comics is awesome. I'm looking forward to not only utilizing it myself for new projects, but seeing other people crowdfunding, putting the first few pages of their book, their crowdfunding, up on Global Comics, like when they launch the crowdfunder, so people can check out those pages straight away. I've seen other people doing that in the last couple of weeks, and it was great to see. It shows confidence in your own book. But yeah, not done yet. Gotta wait until I draw all that shit and color it all. I'm doing everything myself.
You're a crazy person. Damn.
man.
You know, it's so the reason I don't do everything myself, even though technically I can, is like you get sick of looking at your own art. At least I do. It gets annoying after you've done the layouts, penciled and inked it, and now you have to color it and then letter it. For like 50 pages. But hey, you are insane for doing that. So good luck. Have fun.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna take a long
It's
time.
gonna
but
be
it's gonna
great.
be great.
It's not gonna be that long. You're planning on fulfilling in a year.
Yes.
And the good thing,
One
so
year.
that's how many
1
pages
year.
a week? 1
Get excited, guys.
see.
I hope you're ready for
okay.
your book in a year's
What-
time.
Turn the hourglass now.
Yeah, when the deadline comes, we're just gonna not hear from Jake at all for a month because he'll just be under a rock,
Scramble
under a hill of Monster Energy cans, coloring pages, for 100 hours with no sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and start getting at least one spread fully drawn and colored per week. That's my goal for like productivity rate, and see if I can do that and then get faster. I want it to be less than a year, but yeah. Get excited, guys, for in a year's time, finally getting it.
Get excited.
You're going to be excited the whole year because I'm going to be constantly putting out updates because I'll be making it as I go. So you will be entertained for the whole year. You aren't just buying a snippet of entertainment right at the end. You're buying an adventure, a journey to bring this project to life. There you go.
Amazing. There you go.
Yeah, you're buying an erotic curse.
Buy this comic and get an erotic curse, everyone. Great sales pitch. Back this comic now.
Give me money so I can curse you.
So intriguing.
on that note, yes, indeed. You know what? Tying into, it's just off the top of my head, but since this is a campaign launch, do you guys want to talk about what pitfalls and what things to think about for a first launch? So we've talked about introducing a new story and a new project, like how to do that chapter 1, right? What about your first campaign? And I will be right back, guys. I leave it to you.
She's leaving?
Bye.
Wow.
No, I'll be right back.
Oh.
I also will be right back.
Bye.
Just kidding. I'm staying. But I am hungry. I'm going to get another snack in a second when Irene gets back. What is it? Campaign?
As soon as you started saying that, I was relishing the challenge. I
should have left then, damn it.
I wonder if it's would have created the tension between me and
Daddy's first
for
campaign.
even one of us to leave.
She wants us to talk about first-time campaigners.
Yeah.
Do you remember the stories of your first campaigns and where you guys were at when you did those?
Yes.
Nope.
Okay, moving on.
Campaign. The only thing is, don't undercharge on international shipping. And
yeah.
get the word out before you launch. Even though I'm not exactly doing that with Nosferatu, but that it is good to get it out before.
Learn to write, draw, color, letter, format it yourself, pre-press yourself. So you don't have to pay anyone. You don't want to fall into the pitfall of people like Phil of actually having to pay other people to do shit. You just want to learn it all yourself.
That's not profitable.
Yeah, what else? I don't know. Oh, it's for when you're making your rewards. I don't know if you did this, Jake, but sometimes if it's all like they don't say what it is in the title, then that's actually not the greatest. But I think yours at least say in the description or whatever. Sometimes, like it'll be like the full bore spectacle.
The full Monty. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like having code names.
Okay, what's that one? But should I back that one? What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, like I think the only code name one is the throbbing package, and I think people get what that is.
It at least has the picture, so that helps.
And don't bog down your campaign with big blocks of text because no one really cares. Like no one's gonna read them. They want to see your art, what your interiors look like, and then if that hooks them in, which hopefully it does, then maybe down at the bottom if you have like bios of your characters or something. But if you can, at the top, just have your very quick pitch, which should be, 1 to 4 sentences, including the page count. And I would bold that page count because that's important as well. You want to let them know how many pages they're getting for the price.
I had that right at the top of the page on the campaign page, then replaced it with the text from the even in that trailer it says 44 pages.
Yeah.
I'm back. Is the stream
we're
burned
done.
down?
We're done
What
with that topic. We talked about it super intensely.
We're done.
So we need a new topic. Give us a new topic.
You guys are terrible. It was a super easy question. I thought it would be interesting. You're like, we have nothing to say. Just launch a campaign. Zero advice at all. It's just super easy. It's like,
Oh, she was eavesdropping. That's funny.
Yeah, she had
yes.
a wireless heaven. Do research into how much the shit costs. Don't make a million little cool bits of merch and not know how much it's going to be, and then inflation happens, and then you can't afford it. Then you have to make like another campaign to pay for the first campaign.
Here's a quick tip: make your merch first, because that's a problem I ran into. First of all, find a printer and make your merch first. Or make your merch early, because merch takes fucking forever.
Actually, no. Also, people, the biggest pitfall, fucking taxes, right? If you fund at the wrong time of the year and you get a load of money and you don't have anything to put that money into production, into something else, you'll just pay a bunch of tax, and then you won't have enough money to fulfill later. If you do have a merch item, because it's not the book and printing, and you get a bunch of funds and it's about to go into a new tax year, just pay for the things that you can pay for and hold on to them. And in fact, if you buy that stuff as early as you can, you're going to save money, because the price isn't going to go up due to inflation in a year or 2 or 3 if you end up taking 3 years. Spend whatever money you can at the time. Like, I've got merch, I've got pins, and I've got a standees on this campaign. I'm gonna go into a new tax year potentially when I have some funds. I'm gonna get the standees and pins paid for before, and I'm gonna hold on to them instead of holding on to the money that the government can take.
Dale said something funny. Sorry, but he said creators care about merch 10x as much as backers do. I kind of noticed that too, but it's like a catch-22, because if you do nothing, they kind of notice that too. They're like, oh, you don't have anything extra?
Sure.
Come on. But then if you do stuff, they're like, nice extras, and they throw them away, or like I'll kind of just get strewn them about my room, and they've slowly worked their way to the garbage eventually, maybe.
No, I'm leaning more towards like book-focused campaigns, but there are certain things where I try to tie in my merch with like not just junk merch, like just stuff that you give to the backers, because you're backing a comic, and I myself want people that read the comic and are backing for the comic, not just people that are backing for some other reason and won't read the comic. So having shirts and beanies and stuff is cool. I have merch on my store, but I have that stuff there just if people are so kind as to want to use merch and promote Fiendish. That's basically, it's like a promotion thing. So the books come first, and sorry, I just wanted to say like the merch I have ties into the book, so like the trading cards with the indie stats, shit like that. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like you obviously if you're a smaller person and you're just gonna do crowdfunding, I don't really think you can keep banging the drum enough and loudly enough to be able to make all your money from the online section of your business. So at conventions, things like pins, acrylic items, they do a lot better. So I feel like when you're making these campaigns, you're not just planning for the campaign, you're kind of planning for the health of the book in general, which includes taking it to a convention. The property, which includes taking it to a convention.
Right.
So say on my campaign, if I have a standee and a pin, the people who got the throbbing package get that stuff. Some people, like you, Phil, you put it as an add-on. People who are enthusiastic about it, but it's not going to be as commonly bought as a book. But at a convention, that could sell more than the book. And all of that is money that you put into the producing the IP in general. So sometimes designing products and putting them on a campaign, it's kind of so you can have a stock of them to take to cons to make money to buy more.
Well, that's what crowdfunding is, right?
Point.
It's you're crowdfunding this thing that then you could also sell later on as well. So you could have the art paid for and all this stuff, and now we have the stories.
Yeah, Dale says we want like 1 or 2 extra cool things for free to add value. they will still get thrown in the box. You know, like people want a little bit, just a
Yes.
little bit. They want to be teased just a little bit.
Yeah.
And shirts are great too, because I love seeing people wearing the shirts at conventions. You know, that's another little extra thing. It's so cool.
Yeah, like genuinely, maybe one person will buy the all over print shirts. You know what I mean? Maybe one or two. Like I have them
Yeah.
on the campaign. They might even do it as an add-on, so you might never see that thing go from 0. And that's not embarrassing. That's the reality
Right.
of it. The people who do buy it really love it, and they'll wear it to a convention, and you'll
Yeah.
have a great time talking to them.
Mhm.
Some of the products aren't for everyone, but the people who are into them are really into them. Like I love my Fiendish pins. Like I love pins. I love my
Oh,
Fiendish-
hey.
There you go.
I was gonna pull that up too. Yeah, so when I do make merch, I try to make it really, really good and not just some cheap thing to throw in because I wouldn't need a stretch goal at that point. And well, this isn't a stretch goal, but my stretch goals are, most of them. I have this thing where I have trading cards that are D&D stats and mini character sheets for things in the comic, and I know Fiendish ties into the D&D crowd and the tabletop gaming stuff, so that's why it's there. It's high effort, and then this is a like an add-on for Fiendish 2.5, and this Jake made a really good point where I never like thought of it consciously, but this kind of stuff sells really well at conventions, and
Yeah.
anyone who doesn't know Fiendish, they'll just see this and they'll think this is cool and pick it up, and then maybe they will want to check out what comic this is from, maybe not, but the point is this is a draw on the convention floor, even for people who wouldn't have otherwise picked up the comic. So I guess merch is not as important as some people think on a campaign, but if you do it, put in a little effort and make it really matter.
Pins are like their own subculture. There's like pin
They
conventions
are.
that
Yeah,
people will
they
trade them
sell.
like trading cards and stuff.
Uh-huh. I've noticed that standees are a little... I love standees, but standees, I didn't realize this at first, are a very anime thing, and I don't think that appeals to a crowdfunding audience, or most people come from American comics. But at a convention, if you figure out a way to... Like, when people see the standees, they do like them, because that's more of a general audience, or maybe more people who know anime and manga. So... I made a bunch of Ragna and Demon standees, and I just have it there. I'm going to slowly sell it over a long period of time, and made it early, and I'll just have that to bring to shows.
Yeah, and like thinking ahead of product design on the CARNAL campaign, which is live now. Go to carnalcomic.com and check it out. You know, I have that pin that you got, Phil. The Seedling Queen. Like,
Yes.
Step 1, design a world and an IP, a story that's going to have loads of interesting, sexy female character designs, right? Then, each campaign, turn one of them into like a full body pin. In a few years, you can end up with like a whole product line that you would take for shows, which is like a whole themed set of stuff. And the part of the point of making a wide range of stuff is so people can pick between them. If you just have a couple, people are less likely to pick one of them because they kind of have less of a choice. Obviously, you have the opposite end of that where it's like Netflix, where you don't know what to pick because there's so many things. But like there is a sweet spot of a range of products to have, and yeah, so part of planning the CARNAL campaigns is thinking, what am I going to make that can create sets of products after a few campaigns that would make it worth going to conventions for, and then to make enough money to like put that back into the book.
It's a good idea. Yeah, I need to do some pins.
Mm-hmm. Good points. And someone in chat also mentioned shipping, which led me to think about. So if you're running your first-time campaign, think about what qualifies as, if you're in the US, think about what qualifies as media mail. Printed material with no advertisements qualifies media mail. But if you're doing, for example, a beanie with embroidery, your whole package no longer qualifies for media mail. If you have the money, of course, like priority mail. If you're gonna mail artwork or anything original or sketch cards, don't use media mail. Use something with insurance. I always mail my artwork with like insurance, and you spend more money on that. But usually, if you're mailing 1,000 comics, make sure that there's no ads and whatever you have in it qualifies for what you want to ship it as, like with the USPS system.
Yeah, and don't be a bleeding heart over your own prices. Like price stuff where it's actually gonna cost. You're actually gonna make a bit of money on top of what it's actually gonna cost to make stuff. Because there's a psychology to pricing. This is gonna sound so like corporate.
This sounds so like businessy, man.
No, I know,
This
but
is
it's
a lot
true.
of business talk. What have I done?
But there's a psychology to pricing where you could have the same product and people think that product is better with two different prices, right? Super cheap, like $5 book, and then like $25 book. Putting it at $25 makes the person perceive that the book is better because it has a higher price. Like that is a real thing. So it's like if there is a certain aspect to giving your products a decent price so they actually do appear to be valuable, or the opposite end of that is making stuff that is super good and high quality and then not pricing it properly and just not making any money, losing money. Like
Snarky.
okay, for example,
go ahead.
No, go on. Sellouts. Yeah, we're all definitely.
Well, Snarky says sellouts. Well, here's the thing: we all are running small businesses here, and just because you are like Snarky, I know you're not saying, "Oh, we're sellout." It's a joke, but I think a lot of artists are afraid of talking business or don't really learn about business, and I think that's to their detriment because I understand it's a different part of your brain, and I'm not the best at it, but you can learn about business and how to sell stuff and pitch books, because the thing is, the more we can sell our products and books, the more we can invest time in making a better story, the more we can also simultaneously delve into the artistry and the passion side of what we do. So these two things come hand in hand. So yeah, I think more people should talk about the business side of art, especially like we're in indie comics.
You do have a super chat that's a good topic to dive into.
Thank you. I did miss those. My apologies. I do read super chats. I just miss them when we're discussing things. Andy R for $4.99. Thank you very much for the super chat. Andy R says comics are made of moments, little tentpole images that keeps the readers hooked. The issue is trying to let the plot breathe while also engaging. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I love the word moment. You know, like this, especially when I think about when I'm setting up a campaign, and this is good for like people that are doing their first campaigns. The pages you pick to put up on the campaign are stuff that you want, like those moments that are going to stand out in a reader's mind when they think back of the experience they've had reading your book, you know. But yeah, I totally agree. Scenes, key scenes, and this is some of the writing process that I do as well, you know, just plotting down or bullet pointing down scenes that I know I really want to happen, and you could use those to just string them together with plot to form your story. So you get to a scene, and usually those scenes are like on the peak of your story wave, right? So if everything's like a peak and a valley, and your climax and your lull, so that's a good way of mapping out a story as well.
I think actually. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm muted.
No.
Can I go real fast?
Go
Narwhal.
Narwhal.
I was gonna say, Phil. Yeah, that inspired me what you said, because lulls are actually awesome, but you kind of have to earn them because you need to sandwich them between like exciting moments, I guess. But then
Right.
you're like, I got room for a lull if I want to. You're like, oh, I got a lull. I earned a lull. I would like to cash this lull in, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, what even makes a moment? From my mind, real big moments are like reframes, where you've had the story up to a certain point, and in a single instant, it recontextualizes everything you've been experiencing. I think those are the most memorable moments. But what other types of moments could you throw in there?
I think the recontextualizing you're speaking of, that those are the climactic moments generally, or the reveals, not necessarily like the one climax to a chapter or a story, but those are the reveals and those are the big moments. But
Sure.
in between that, you have moments of conflict and tension that are scattered throughout, and those are still what create tentpole images. But I think that's what Andy R is saying. But I think you shouldn't start with tentpole images. I think most good writers don't start with that, even if they might think they do, because what matters is what's happening underneath the cool shots and that cool image that everybody remembers. Oh, this is how that cool shot looks. That really interesting shot choice, or that clever battle move, or that one line, Rickert slapping Griffith. Like, that's iconic in a way, but what matters is the idea, conflict of ideas that happens under that. So, working on Fiendish 3, without spoiling what exactly happens, I had written that I needed two characters to come to a head and argue about something, and I couldn't figure out how, and there was a conflict there, but the exact framing of it, there were like multiple ways and multiple settings for them to have that argument, I realized. And I thumbnailed that scene over and over again. Like, once they were in the house and just like doing chores, or once they were just standing around. It was horrible. Have your characters doing something, don't just have them talk. And then I settled on, they were in a graveyard and they were doing something in the graveyard, and it fit perfectly and everything fell into place. So they were doing something and there were cool shots, but the cool shots ended up being meaningful because I had decided they were arguing about an idea, and that idea informed the location they were in, what they were doing, and the shot choices that made what they were saying and that moment actually matter. So I don't think people should start with like an image or a cool shot. What I'm saying is the themes will you can always pull cool shots will necessarily be born out of a story that's well written and that has good plot and good conflict. So don't worry about that. I think any good artist will be able to make shit look cool.
Yeah, I was actually just watching this local script man video about violence and fight scenes, and he was saying exactly that, Irene, where if you have a climax or a big fight where someone dies, it is meaningless if that's all it is, like just a fight, right? He was attributing that, or not attributing, but he was relating those fight scenes as a kid with two action figures just smashing them together, right? And he referenced this Sam Raimi film, The Quick and the Dead, which is a great 90s Western film where Sharon Stone is this chick that comes to this town. Gene Hackman's the villain that runs a tournament every year of gunfights, and he wins every year because he's the best, he's the baddest, he's the oppressive figure in this town. And the spoiler, she kills him in the end. But it's not because she trained the whole movie to become the fastest gun in the West, or she, outwitted him somehow. The climax is directly tied to the theme of her overcoming her fears of him. And that is what builds the impact into the big moment, and it amplifies that moment, and it makes it mean something. So you have both things working for you. It's the theme is directly working with the action, and to make it even maximizing your big moment.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in comics, like, you want those moments to have visual impact as well as a thematic impact, and those are the best ones. And they don't even have to be splash pages. I was just watching, or I was just looking at a Chris Claremont Jim Lee X-Men, the moments in the Savage Land where Magneto um, turns evil again, and throws away his heroism, and is like, all these humans, F them, I'm going to be a bad guy again. That was a huge moment in the whole X-Men series, and it was on a 12 panel grid. It wasn't on a splash page. And it was, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
it was heads back and forth, Magneto, Rogue, another character talking, and you just, through the dialogue, you could see that he's turning his back on the X-Men, and he kills someone in the last panel. It's off panel, and those, because it's comics, you could do so much and have it be panel grids, inset panels, splash pages. That's the beauty of comics. You can do it so many different ways.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think every too many spreads and double spreads everywhere with big epic shots doesn't necessarily make a story good or epic. A story is good because the characters and the themes matter, and you can get the readers to care about them. And a story is epic because it has scope and actual meaning and world building. So yeah, not everything. You can, Watchmen is a great example. Exactly what Phil said. You don't have to have. You can make something in a small panel feel meaningful if an artist knows what they're doing.
For sure.
Yeah, there's kind of like two kinds of that people. If you're watching a movie, when people go, "Ooh, nice cinematography," that's actually sometimes people say that's bad because it means it brings attention to itself and it's taking you out of the movie. But there's shots that we say are good where you're like, "Oh, that's a great shot," and then sometimes it'll just be like, "Oh, it's pretty," or "It's epic," and it's framed well, it's lit well,
Yeah.
and it looks cool. But then there'll be shots that have like tons of context and thematic meaning. Like do you guys remember the last shot of The Godfather? It's when his wife, she's in the other room and she's trying to talk to him, and he closes the door on her.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like shutting her out, kind of. But it's shot
Slow
through the
motion.
doorway. The door closes. Yeah,
Right.
it's like really an amazing shot.
Now
So,
that's a closure to his character arc. He's
yeah.
new.
And that stuff, I think that all applies to comics, and you could do both. But anytime you can get the images with lots of context behind them are cool. Yeah, I had one in real quick. I had one in Percival that I wrote this morning that I was like, I can't wait to draw this.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a bunch of farmers and they're standing around, and the guy, it's like a surveyor who's starting a mine. He's mad that the farmers are just watching because they should be working, but they're like kind of on strike because they're going to become miners, maybe because some weird shit that's kind of happening. But so there's kind of a lot of chaos, and he's like, they're just standing there, and then they're gonna blow the first blast of the mine. So a soldier's running down, and he's like, you all better fucking duck because we're gonna blow this shit. And then none of them are listening, so they blow it anyway, and all the farmers all at once duck immediately because it's a huge explosion. And then meanwhile, Percival's looking for one farmer in particular, and he's walking on the other side up and down to kind of reconnect with his old friend, basically. So he's just looking, but then his friend sees him first, and he goes, Percival! So it'd be like everyone ducking except one guy waving at Percival. I'm like, I guess I want to draw that.
And then he dies and gets his head blown off.
Yeah, no. I think it's after the explosion, so people are just kind of like, whatever.
Huh. Snarky, member for 29 months. Thank you very much for being a channel member. Thank you for all your support, and thank you for the chat. Snarky says, back Grady's cover. Don't let the monarchy win. 1776 will commence again. That's right. We will throw off the monarchy and insist on our independence. I'm throwing that tea into the heart. We don't need no tea. We drink our Coca-Cola and burgers and America Land stuff here.
Yeah, humiliate me on a nationalistic level by buying Irene's cover on CARNAL.
Yeah,
you should fight for freedom by giving me money for Irene's cover on my book on my campaign right now.
Exactly. Defeat the monarchy. Jake clearly stands for England in the 1700s, and so
taxes.
If you care about America, if you're a patriot, then you're going to back my cover and give Jake money.
It's
quarter Jewish pride over Brits. Let's go.
Yeah.
Tea party.
Wait, half.
Oh, half.
Even on the most basic level, like
I gotta get off.
Even on a basic level, like my body's trying to escape England by like not even having a voice that sounds British. The body is automatically de-Briticizing itself.
Your soul is trying to gain freedom and come to America. TC says they backed a memory of DD. There you go.
Yeah,
hail,
we
TC.
we do have a DD saves cover. Not everyone knows about the DD issue. I think, look, Ryan Blue Thunder, who sent you a super chat, he says, "Who is Dee Dee?" She is a character who will.
Super chat.
She's a character who will be in our hearts and on our covers.
Yeah,
forever.
You're gonna have to read the book.
A blue babe from CARNAL.
Yes.
Back it.
You have to read the book to find out. That's the answer. Ryan Blue Thunder for 50. Thank you. Woo! Thank you very much. I feel like I should play a little
something.
Thingy,
I dabbed,
but I don't have anything. I have only Greta Thunberg being rude.
You gotta floss, Phil.
So I'm sorry.
I can do that. You want me to do
Do
it?
some flossing.
What's that?
You gotta do the skibbity toilet or whatever.
Huh? I don't want to see your toilet.
What's the skibbity toilet?
Do you do this? It's like,
I don't know. Oh, it's thundering over here.
What is happening?
Phil is farting. Phil has gas and he's pretending it's thunder.
Okay, I'm gonna just read this super chat. Phil Reedy and Narwhal and Hyper Wizard, I swear I know your name. My name is Ryan Parks. I'll support and review you guys, and it will be good. Yay! I met you right at Heroes. You were there. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, Ryan's awesome.
Thank you very much for your support. Yeah, that's a very much appreciated super chat.
You do, Ryan. You owe me a review. Okay.
Yeah, review. I appreciate. I want reviews because I want people to actually read my comments. I'm sure all of us do. I don't like. I want comics to be more than a prospectors and collectors market. Comics are meant to be read, anyways, etc. Yeah, review my books. Tell me the good and bad. Tell everybody. I welcome all of it. I have no fear.
Yeah, Ryan's awesome. He was. I barely got to see him because I came in a day late, and he was like staying up all night to catch a flight for Heroes Con. So I saw him and Frega at a bar with Moromi. That was pretty awesome before he left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, very, very always cool meeting chat people at shows. I met a bunch of people in New York as well, and it was always strange because people would walk up and I never knew who knew my online stuff. It was like sometimes I would start just pitching my book and people would be like, yeah, I follow you, I'm so and so in chat. I'm like, well, never mind. But it was cool. It was cool to meet people. For
the first time at a con, I had someone from chat walk up and say hi to me first and say my name. It was
I'd do that.
it was Aviator Surge came up to the table, and I see this hand like come across the table, and I hit Jake, and I'm like, oh, do I know you? And yeah,
you know, I kind of recognize Aviator because he has his photo in the icon, but it's so small. The minute he said Aviator, I was like, yeah, you. It's great.
Yeah, Aviator Surge was great to talk to. He brought a ton of stuff to get signed, and he was like,
great, yeah.
he was surprised when we said that we just sign it. What he thought he had to pay and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
I don't
He's like, are
charge
you
for
sure I have
signatures.
like 9? He said he has. Are you sure I have like 9 things? It's like, yes, you
Well,
bought
he
awesome.
insisted on still paying. I'm like, you know, if it's like $10, then maybe throw me a few bucks. But I don't like to charge for signatures in general.
That's
You're
the best thing
famous now,
too.
Jake.
Like next year, if you guys go back next year, you'll see people from the previous year that you recognize. And then, you know, that's so like when we do C2E2, 2 years ago, I think is when we did it for like the first big time that we did very well. And we had a few people like you guys that bought like the whole lot of books that we had. And then this past year, we had those same people come back and be like, oh, you have anything new? And like, I recognize those guys now, like where I'm walking through the con and be like, oh yeah, I remember him from last year, you know? So it's really cool. Cons is an awesome experience.
There were so many
Yeah.
characters that we met that it's like, I hope you get to meet
Every
again.
con, like nerds are
was-
characters, and it's just everyone is so much fun.
So, man, so many crazy things happened. So Irene got to meet the freaking Vinland Saga guy, but
Right.
there was this one guy who came to the table. I think his name was Ken. Hello, Ken. You're not going to be watching this. And he's like, can I do an interview? He was like this. I don't want to call him short. That's insulting. Shorter than me guy. You don't want to be described as short if you're.
You just have to go right in, be as mean as possible. No,
I gotta
his
reply.
name is Ken, and he's fucking amazing. I mean,
He was so fun.
it was awesome. I almost feel embarrassed talking about all the cool people I met, but it was great. Ken was apparently he was like a metal drummer, and so you guys know I like Nightwish, and he apparently knows like the Nightwish, you know, like not them directly, but the team or something, and it was kind of cool. And I'm like, tell them they have a fan who draws comics. Ooh.
there was one duo of guys. They came to the table and it was like they were the most polar opposites. One of them was well put together, slim, polite, quiet, you know what I mean? Like humble posture. The other guy, much taller, much more drunk, holding a can of beer in a brown paper bag, we were both sitting at the table like this, right? And those two, the calm and centered one was in front of me, talking to Irene, and then the other guy who was holding a beer was next to him, and he just points at one of the fucking prints that's on the table and shouts out, "Yo, that shit is dope!"
And
It's
he said it like 20 times. And
he
nothing
kept
else.
on saying that shit is dope, man. I'm gonna send that to my girlfriend, right? He's like, my ex girlfriend, and
He said girlfriend at first, I think, and then he was like, yeah, I hate her. I hate that bee.
I hate the shit out of that bitch, man.
That's my ex-girlfriend. I hate her, but she's gonna love it. I'm gonna send this to her. And he asked me to sign it. He's like, I'm gonna buy this. Can you sign it? Can you write "fuck you" bee on the
Right,
back?
fuck you.
I was like, I'm not gonna write that. And then he's like, can I have your Sharpie? And then he took my sign print that he bought, and then on the table he just started writing and drunk and sloppy writing, "fuck you, man."
And he's saying this to me whilst like the other guy is still trying to have a conversation with Irene.
Right.
Completely. Yeah, they were together. This guy was completely ignoring his drunk friend that was being loud. He just kept on saying, "This shit is dope. I hate the shit out of her, man. I wish she wasn't so mean to me. She's gonna love this, man. But I hate the shit out of that bitch. But she's gonna love this. She loves shit like this. But I hate that bitch, man. That shit is dope." And it was like, what the fuck is
Welcome
happening?
to America.
Jake is not exaggerating. That's exactly.
I'm not playing it up.
all
I'm
he
not
said.
playing it up. It was even better. He went away. He went away, and we're like, "Whew, that was a blast." There's a small respite, and then he comes waddling back over, and he's like, "That shit is dope, man. I want to buy another one of that shit." He's like plastered out of his mind. He buys another one, and like, and so like he's just spent $20 on 2 of these mini prints so he can send one of them to his ex, who he hates because she's mean to him, but she'll love it. I don't know if when he woke up the next day, if he remembered why he owned remembers the purchasing process. That was the best thing that happened in New York. Like that guy.
And it was such a contrast. His friend that was like not reprimanding him, but also like still not abandoning him, but also just kind of like his friend was acting like nothing at all strange was happening right next to him, and he was like a legit. I think he was like an aspiring creator or something, and he was like having an intelligent conversation with us about writing and comics, and meanwhile this guy is over there like, I hate that bitch.
I hate that bitch, man. It was so good. I fucking love that guy. Oh, there was so many characters. There was
amazing.
There was this like one guy who came to the table, and it was like right at the end, and we're closing down, but then started asking questions about making stuff, and like, should you use AI? And this conversation, it was like the end of the day, and we should be going home, and this one guy is like asking question after question, and we're not like, God, could you just leave? We're like, it's basically we're managing to summarize all of the stuff we talk about on this show in like 10 minutes to this one guy. That was so
Tell
fun.
him to watch
too.
the show.
I think we did tell a couple of people.
Cards?
Yeah, there was one person who said there were a couple of people who were like aspiring comic creators and stuff. And
there were creative block viewers.
There were.
Show.
Yeah, there were creative block viewers. There was somebody that brought up, like, what's interesting, I guess some people only tune in for a specific show. So some people watch my show with Allie, some people watch this show, and I recommended the block to someone who was just asking about like comics and writing stuff, and the way we were talking about it, they were like, you should stream, and I'm like, I do. Watch this show. This is pretty great. I guess this nerdery pays off.
He meant on a different website.
Oh my god.
What? Well, that's not gonna happen.
He was a gamer. He meant Twitch.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
Where Amaranth started.
Don't know where your mind went.
No, I'm not gonna play video games on stream ever. Where did your mind go? Oh.
That would be fun. I play video games, just even know how to like.
I would just like not. Yeah, I would have trouble even just moving. I would just constantly die. It would.
I remember trying to get my mom to play Skyrim, and she just looked at the ceiling and spun around for like 20 minutes. And it's like the start of Skyrim really isn't the game to really onboard a new elder gamer, as they can be called. Like the whole bit where you're escaping from the dragon.
Yeah.
My mom was one of those people, when she played Sonic the Hedgehog when I was a kid, she would physically move the controller around, thinking it would move the carrot, like make him go extra higher on a jump.
Before that technology even existed yet?
She invented the remote before its time.
Yeah, I will know better than that, but I'm not much better. I'm like not really great with the control. I can do computer games with the keyboard, but I didn't grow up with a controller, so I have no coordination for it. I'm like, how do I turn?
I think there's a meme.
Not a gamer. The meme. Yeah, we've been going for a while.
What is?
I guess we've way delved into the second half already, so there
don't
is
think
no
there's a
need for.
meme.
Hold on. I will play the cat video anyways. And Alex, if there is a meme, I will pull it up. Cat video must be played, even though we've kind of already been in the second half for like 30 minutes. But here we go. Cat video. Don't go anywhere. We're not leaving. This is just a ritual. I'm gonna play a video, and then we'll be right back.
Alex, where's the meme?
Me? PC says second half. We been in the second half, bruh.
Second half, boys.
So, turns out, since the Lego patents expired, some companies have popped up creating very cheap Lego sets.
Patents?
And it might have become... Yeah, like the copyright on their bricks or whatever. And I may have found... Check out this shit. This isn't even real Lego, Phil. This is fake Lego. Look at this fake Lego.
Is it called
so
Fago?
Cute. It's a little medieval house.
It's called... The company's called Fun Hole.
Isn't that what Irene's house looks like?
What?
This little fantasy land. You live in a wattle and dweeb tower, Irene, with a little.
Like
yes, the wattle and dweeb. I want to live in wattle and dweeb tower in Legoland.
So, there happened to be a prime sale for this fake Lego that didn't cost hundreds and hundreds. Look at this! This whole little medieval fucking town right here. Look at this shit! This is the best!
What did that run you?
They're like $89 or something.
Jesus
They're around
Christ.
that. No, look, okay, wait. If this was official Lego, it would be $400.
Jesus Christ. Literally
The
insanity.
savings. I want to get into fake
Why
Lego
would
just
anyone?
to save $300. I'm into it.
Yeah, Camel introduced me to fake Lego. It's the shit, man. It's the best. Everyone should get into fake Lego.
That actually looks like a lot of fun.
There's a cool little blacksmith. Like, look, they have whole theme sets. Phil, they have a Western set. They have a steampunk line. They have medieval. They have
What do you
like
do with
log
it?
cabins.
You put it in the corner of your room, or
You put it in a stylish glass cabinet, and you walk past it every day, and you go, "I built that." But look,
no? You go. Someone else
like that.
designed that, and then I built it.
Well,
and now it's on my shelf. Now it's on my shelf for the low price of $89.99. I have
still
a
built it.
bootleg Lego set that would have ran me hundreds of dollars if it was official.
You still built it and probably fucked up a couple of spots, but that's fine because it's yours. Congrats!
Oh, the meme
That
is
does look
here.
like a lot of fun. The meme.
I shouldn't be so harsh on your Legos, Jake. I'm sorry.
You're so hurtful, Phil. Alex,
I'm gonna send them back
BRB.
tomorrow, Phil. I'm returning them all tomorrow.
That's not happening. You don't do that. Member for 33 months. Thank you, Alex, and thank you for all the work you do and all the links and the memery. Alice says, considering I started off with no idea what to do, I'm actually kinda almost proud of this one. Meme posted, congrats on CARNAL, Jake. Everyone also check out Band of the Crow launching tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Well, technically later today because it's AM on the 25th, but Band of the Crow by
awesome.
Arvid and Oren. Oren's art is amazing.
Yes.
They've been promoting this for well over a year. It's another fantasy series, so if you love fantasy, if you like my stuff and Jake's stuff, then check out Band of the Crow. I assume they're going to be
Arvid's
launching on Indiegogo?
I just saw a link. It was a Kickstarter, but they might be doing two.
Okay.
It
I
might
could
be
be
with
wrong.
Kickstarter. But Arvid's cool. He was a dude in Tampa that we all met, much taller than I thought he'd be.
everyone was taller than I thought they'd be.
Except
Everyone
for
was a
Bancroft.
fucking giant. Well, yeah, no, but you're never gonna forget that.
The forehead.
Which he's not short. He's average. You know what? Never mind. People, there's no
Regular.
way to get out of
We
this.
can't.
one.
You
I'm
can
just not
only
gonna figure out
describe a
this
man
one.
as tall or not.
I'm
so
only
tall.
allowed.
I gotta show you something, Jake.
That's the only descriptions allowed. It's like how you can't describe a woman as big ever. If you want to keep your head.
Yeah, you can't say that, can you? Like, yeah,
Can you say like biggin?
unbig. She's a very unbig. She's big adjacent. Can you say that?
Big adjacent, yes. I have the meme.
Oh,
Actually,
Phil
meeting
got a
everyone in
special.
person. Everyone's-
Phil got a
Hey,
special
what's that?
gift this week. It wasn't even your birthday, man.
I know it's Christmas. Well, it technically is my birthday gift, but it came out late. Freaking this guy! Look at him!
I know. I
His
like
head!
his shaking
Shaking his
head.
head
That's
because of the
great.
bomb. He's holding a bomb. And look at the gun. It's a bunch of guns. The gun's a bunch of guns. It's awesome.
Nice.
Very nice.
Phil, isn't his suit supposed to be yellow?
No. Shut up.
So like how Phil turned his camera off so we wouldn't see his ass when he got up.
Yeah. That's exactly why. Okay, meme time.
Yeah. By the way, someone in the chat who hasn't backed CARNAL yet, back it before the end of the stream because we'll refresh and I'll be very embarrassed.
Please back
Quick.
the comment.
So
Quick.
we need a hero out there.
Save Jake. All right. Here we go. Here is the meme. Oh dear. Oh gosh, that is really zoomed in. What is that? Chibi Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, what's going on here? The
That's
ceilings
acrylic
are...
keychain Bonaparte.
Ah, yes, it is. There were so many cutesy acrylic keychains at conventions everywhere.
Yeah,
Like
look, I
little
got-
acrylic keychains and enamel pins are half of what's an artist alley nowadays.
I
Oh, look at that.
I got McDonald's Hatsune Miku. I got McDonald's Miku.
Did you see
I'm
any
glad
mood?
your little girlish tastes have continued to prove true, Jake.
Did you see any Moodang cosplayers?
No.
No.
Well, maybe
Wait,
they didn't
actually,
mean to
we saw a
cosplay.
few.
Phil, maybe they didn't mean to be cosplaying as them, but after a few too many tasty cakes,
We saw a few.
That's my tasty
Yeah.
cake.
or a few moodangs
Look at
walking around.
Napoleon Weeba Parte.
I hate that bitch.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, we can look at
Not
that
laugh
tree.
at that line now. That was such a funny one. Okay, all right. Okay, stop. Meme. Who's Napoleon?
Who can do his
A
best
little
French
chibi
accent?
Napoleon. He's adorable.
Everything changed once the seedling nation attacked. Napoleon Weeba Parte.
Oh, big thunder coming right now.
Oh, the seedlings have been airdropped in.
Yeah, they are. And okay, what's going on here? There's a talking tree house with who the fuck is that guy back there?
That's Jurassic Park guy. That's his
Oh,
name.
right.
Newman.
In the it links
We
together
talked
because
about Seinfeld. And
we talked
Jurassic
about
Park.
Seinfeld and Jurassic Park, so he's the cross universe character of the week.
That
This is
AI
just
tree is great in the
everything.
background.
Yeah, everything being thrown in.
It's kind of funny, Alex, because there are talking trees in Connell's world. He lives in one. He lives in a tree called Tree. But there's also a character that had a relationship with a tree, and it actually does have an ex-boyfriend that is a tree.
God.
So this character could exist in the world.
It's just all the random shit we talked about thrown into the one meme. What is that? Why is iRobot there? Why is Senku there? What's happening?
It was the high premises. It was
Yeah,
like, what if it's the
iRobot.
future and there's robots, and the robots aren't allowed to kill, but
No
one kills.
kills.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Got
You guys see
it.
those
I
Tesla robots
understand.
that weren't actually robots? They were just being piloted by remote workers.
We were lied to.
Not as cool as we
Yeah.
thought they were. All right. I think Jake should do the honors of voicing the tree.
Well, do I only shout the words that are capitalized, or do I shout all of it?
I think he was shouting all of it, so you have to too.
That shit is dope! I'm gonna send this to my ex-girlfriend! I hate that bitch! That shit is dope! That is one to one. That is that guy. Like, I'm not playing it up. I'm not trying to do a bit. It sounded that he was amazing. His voice was the best.
Actually, his voice.
It was that kind of wriggling around in there kind of voice. It was so good.
He was great. Okay, Phil.
My turn. Yeah, but was the Trigun guy there? No.
So the basketball team has a secret handshake. Long story short, they're ancient Roman warriors.
That's actually good.
See, Phil, all you need is one very stressful night before launch. That's how you get the energy you need to get things done.
No, bitch. Why the fuck you think that? People love that shit. That's apparently what I said at some point.
Yeah, I can't remember when that was. But
Actually, I do remember now. I was talking about myself. Not mentioning the language in Fiendish.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, you were talking to yourself.
I'm a baby. Talk to myself. Oh, I'm crazy. Very good. Thank you, Alex. This is awesome.
Epic. This was epic for sure.
Yeah. This is great.
That box in the corner there.
Wow.
Oh yeah, zoom in right
It's
at the bottom
Intrigue.
Oh.
But what does it say?
The
right.
Intrigue
Is it a
box.
mystery box?
What's in the box?
Ooh.
What's in the box?
Who is
What?
Hexbox?
Who is Hexbox?
It's a hexagonal
Oh my
box.
goodness.
Oh my
Mystery.
god.
Can Hexbox makes it into the meme? Wow.
Yes. Oh, shout out to Hexbox.
Damn.
They have become a legend. He or she or whatever has is now in the meme legend. You have
Poor
been
Xbox.
solidified in internet history. Thank you,
great,
Alex.
Great job on going to Walmart and getting that prepaid credit card so that you can make an alternate YouTube account and then using that to pay for the super chat, Phil.
Yeah.
What?
Very
No.
well done. Hexbox is a leader. All right, we've been going for like 3 hours and 17 minutes, almost 20 minutes. I think this has been a good show, especially because there was a very loose topic and we were mostly just chilling. Very good discussion. Thank you
I
guys.
love these style of shows we've started doing. This is really fun.
I love them too. I think maybe having bullet points if necessary, but I much prefer, I think, just doing a discussion, because that's kind of what we end up doing anyways, even with the whatchamacallit, a PowerPoint. So PowerPoints are cool, but I think we could just talk about stuff. We're pretty good at this. Was fun.
might be
Thank you, everybody.
entering
You guys
the-
all had a lot to say.
The post PowerPoint era of creative block.
Yes.
I welcome it. I welcome it.
I like it. And next
Come.
week is next Thursday, because this is on my channel. It's Halloween, guys. It's a spooky night.
Let's
Yeah.
look how scary it's going to be. That is on the 31st.
Isn't that Halloween?
Yes. I was just seeing where I would be at the
So
time.
I'm saying
We will talk.
Halloween.
We should.
It's a holiday.
It should be
you
fine.
know.
It should be okay. It should be fine.
It
as
should
long
be okay.
As, yeah.
Maybe there's gonna be some tricks that'll be turned, you know,
Hopefully. That's what I'm hoping for the most.
or treats.
And that is the real treat.
Yeah, that's the treat.
That is the real treat.
Oh,
On
dude,
that
they
note,
look-
let's refresh this campaign one more time.
Yes.
I can
I did
find
launch CARNAL today. Anyone who hasn't seen it, check it out
Back Carnal.
before
I did.
he'll back you.
You should too.
Back this, and I hope this number goes up so we don't no angels have to be sacrificed.
Wait. Let's give the audience out there a chance to not thoroughly embarrass me. We could play the trailer one more time. Give people.
Yeah, now's your time to back.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now's
And
the
back
time
it
to back.
now. Like,
If anyone can
right now.
You know, if anyone's really excited about backing a throbbing
Really
package right
excited.
now,
Immediately.
In the world of Deploria,
That's voice.
after years of solitude,
Solitude.
the dark erotic curse threatens to be unleashed.
Walking through the forest, orange blue guys on the prowl. There's only one man there to stop them. If you just stop joking around, they come here to invade your lands, bring life
Venom
here to
titties.
an end. But you just want to get real drunk and make lots of new friends. Carnal the barbarian, Carnal the barbarian, Carnal the barbarian.
yeah, thanks for backing everyone back.
Woo! Yes, everybody, every single person in chat has backed this book.
Hey,
Is that
Rini.
right? Yes.
Click on
Unfo-
Shrek ASMR now.
Do it. I hope.
Fuck is... What are
She should be-
these fucking recommendations? What the fuck is this shit?
It's hammer
I'm
time.
glad-
Okay.
I'm glad that two of my
hey.
streams are on the recommended. Gotta say.
Well, I'm on incognito mode, so it's kind of just playing all this stuff that's
Full
related to the
comic
current stream.
story gossip.
Hey, Berserk Lost Children arc. That is a very good arc of Berserk.
but still, click on Shrek ASMR.
Yeah, let's see where this goes.
Goodbye, YouTube channel. Time
It's
to get
only
struck.
voices.
It's only voices, yes.
Track is live.
My taste? No,
Donkey.
I'm on incognito. Just something to
Close my
expect.
window.
If it was actually signed into my account, it would just be like a bunch of, I don't know, historical disasters and Rome videos that I've been watching a lot of.
Now that's the real erotic curse. Being into
Yes.
Shrek.
Find the Rome video about my
ASMR.
secret handshake. It's
I
gotta
will.
Be real.
I think I'm down the rabbit hole. I'm about to find that video. All right.
Well, I think
Cool.
I
You guys
think it
ready?
might. Let's see if it worked. Let's see if the trailer compelled anyone to get this amazing piece of literature.
All right, let's
do you
go.
Yeah!
Already knew. Two more backers.
Two more.
I'm
now that
glad
is a trailer.
Hell yes.
we definitely had no idea what that was going to be on Refresh.
That was
and
scary.
we
I
took
was
a chance.
afraid.
Yeah, it was terrifying. But yeah, thank you. We're 3,500 in not even a day, because you launched at 4 p.m. and it's 2 a.m. now. So
Yep.
not even 12 hours. Amazing on your first book. I didn't have this in the first day of my first book, so a year of promotion definitely paid off. Very, very well done. This book looks fucking amazing,
Yeah,
and you guys are gonna love it too. I've read it.
Carnal the
You guys are gonna like it.
Barbarian.
Someone actually did pick up a throbbing package during that, by the way. In the middle of that trailer. Someone actually did get
Really?
one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing chat.
Very grateful.
Mad Strat.
The best chat.
9 throbbing packages. We're 9 strong. The
That's
hashtag
right.
throb mob is growing
chat
more and more every day.
9 out of 89.
Drama.
Oh, 9 out of 89 claimed. Let's check in on the cover wars.
Hell yeah,
9
Ryan.
claimed. 15. It's still 9 and 15. Come on,
So
don't
embarrassed.
let me
I'm
lose
so-
to Jake.
I'm so humiliated. You know what? If you guys want to just make me go asleep in tears, in a river of tears, crying into my pillow. Just buy more of Irene's covers.
Yeah.
Buy more Jake
Yeah.
covers, everyone.
TC is trying to start fights. Carnal is already beating Fiendish. Well, you see what's gonna happen is I am supportive of my friends and I want Jake to make all the money in the world, and then I'm just gonna be like, hey Jake, do you want to do something for Fiendish? Do you want to be on the Fiendish team? And then I'll take all his success and make it mine.
Hey, I'm pretty much on call for coloring any 0.5
Precisely.
now.
See?
So yeah.
See? This is how it works.
Goes both ways.
This is being supportive pays off. So,
That means Carnal's
you know.
gonna get fulfilled in 2 years.
Yeah. If if you want more 2.5s, just put each 0.5 that happens, it pushes off Carnal by another fucking year.
Yeah, I mean, it's still better than certain records out there. So can't beat that. You'll be pretty fast as far as crowdfunding goes, no matter what.
But yeah, I'm very honestly having 35 backers in the first day. I'm very happy. Very grateful.
Scroll
Thank
through
you.
these
yeah.
pages.
Thank you to the Throb
Very
Mob.
impressive. Thank you, everyone. You guys are awesome. Good stream again. Woo! I shall close it out because I need sleep and you guys all need sleep.
Yes.
I
Tomorrow-
too love waiting 5 years for books. That's not gonna
But-
happen.
Tomorrow I'll be
Yes.
streaming Diaz Brothers show. We might have a guest. We'll see.
Oh
But
yeah. I guess if that guest manages to get Wi-Fi whilst in a well-known theme park, Phil
Yeah.
could have an interesting guest in an interesting place if I have time to go to Verizon to sort out my America phone situation.
make sure you tune in. And yeah, I'm sure other people will be streaming this weekend. See you then.
Yeah. Sounds good. Be there, and we'll see you next
week on Phil's channel.
for Halloween.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Bye. 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 Bye.